What is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 283. I am your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
What's up, people? How's it going?
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero. Yo, say something, motherfucker. Carlos is silent.
He went away.
Yeah. Adam Vale.
I took my monthly shower, feeling fresh.
All right. And Brian Manjoma.
Of course, people are really annoyed at Last of Us 2. It turns out that Joel was Kaiser Sose the whole time.
Oh, man.
I heard there's a tie-in, though. Yeah, Brian, I heard there's a tie-in with The Last of Us and then that movie Blue Story that's over there in the UK. It has something to do with the hood over there.
Blue Story? Never heard of that.
You never heard of that?
Yeah, I never heard of it either, man. Are you talking about blue balls or something?
Lord,
like, what are you talking
it's
about?
huge in the UK. It's about life in the hood. It's like Boys in the Hood, UK version. It's blowing up.
Wait, are you trying to say that that just because Brian's black, he knows about the hood in England and shit? Man, what are you trying to insinuate, man?
They said it was killing it in the box office over there. So I figured he knew like the #1 movie in the UK. That's all.
Listen, if it doesn't have Ultron in it, Brian doesn't watch it, man.
It came out last year, but I wasn't really paying attention to it. I did see the posters, but I just went past it. It's like, okay, it's a teen drama film, you know, after Another Hood. And
it's something about the the rapper.
Oh, what is it? Coming of age shit? Why?
No. It's a rapper, a UK rapper.
I'm a rapper.
These stories on YouTube talking about his life growing up, and then decided to turn that into a movie of all the things that happened while he was growing up with gangs and this and that. And he had one of his best friends became the leader of like another gang. And
Adam, we need to turn your life into a fucking movie, bro.
I have to write everything down.
Yeah. No, just come over, just tell me the story. Get the tape recorder and just go, and I'll find a director. I'll get Torrance to direct this shit. It'll be crazy. We'll get you. We'll have some Hollywood guy play, you and shit.
It would be crazy. Man.
So basically, it's
Chico. There you go, Chico.
Yo, why are we talking about this fucking movie, man?
Yeah,
that's why.
Yeah, right. So, we're talking about pop culture like we used to back in the day, man. It's crazy. We're talking about some. Yeah, motherfucker, I called your name. You didn't say shit, man.
Oh, I said,
yo. You would know. Are there any listeners that you know of that are from New York, like the city, Manhattan? You know?
Oh, that I know. Oh, yeah, Illustrated Dio. He's one. My man Goose right now. He's from Brooklyn.
All right, Dio. I don't
know.
Dana,
that's another one.
Dana, but I don't think he went that far. I think it was just the Lower East Side. Maybe you guys know. Chico used to do these big murals. These amazing murals all over buildings and streets. What the hell? Like Selena pictures, all crazy. And he would just tag him and say, Chico. Oh, man.
Yo, Goose, you know about this guy, man?
Chico.
Yeah. 2DX NYC. That lets you know right there where they're from. Adam wants to know if you saw any tags that said Chico on the Lower East Side.
Do murals. Yeah, it was pretty much all over the Lower East Side, Houston Street, Delancey, all these big murals. Beautiful murals, like Puerto Rican flags and people like dancing and shit. Beautiful murals. And he would just tag up on the side like Chico.
Yeah, he says he hasn't seen it. Y'all, my OGs. I'm 30. I keep forgetting how young this dude is. Yeah. That's why Goose is still optimistic about shit. Yeah. I talk to him. He's like, it's gonna get better. I'm like, what is it gonna get better? Shit's gonna get fucked up.
Well, he knows. He must know.
By the way, Jeffrey knows what you're talking about. He knows what you're talking about. By the way, Barry. Hey, Barry. What about you? Barry's also from New York. We gotta listen. Okay. We're an unofficial New York podcast. We had a lot of New York listeners, man. That's just how.
I was just wondering because I don't know how far Chico made it outside of the Lower East Side. That's all.
Otaku man, what's going on, Andre?
But then there was Rev and Cost. They used to put it with the paint roll. It said Rev, and it would say Cost underneath those two, and then what you call it, Obey. That was a big one.
Yeah.
With the Andre face.
That's interesting, man. But anyway, we got games to talk about tonight.
What did he think?
Yeah.
They bring back another Getting Up game. I miss that shit. That was like the only game you could actually do graffiti, but a little bit in the Warriors you could do a W, but no, it was all out. Remember Getting Up? Mark Echo's Getting Up?
I remember that from back in the day. See, now we're talking. See, I don't mind those asides. We're talking about games right now. So go ahead, man. Actually, Adam, real quick,
awesome
real quick before we start. What's this? I heard about some skating games coming out this year.
Oh fucking shit, man! There's a few of them. There's a few of these skating games. So we got Skate XL, and that's coming next month. I think it's June to July, but I know they sent out a notice about that. But that's coming to PS4, Xbox, and Switch. Don't know much about the gameplay, but we'll see. We got Session that Microsoft showed up a while ago. Remember when we saw that skate game? We all thought that was during the same announcement with the axe. We all thought that was going to be another EA skate, but it wasn't. That's the one where you use a thumbstick for the left foot and the right stick is another thumb. Yeah, it's that bullshit. So you got that one. There's another Tony Hawk. Don't get your hopes up. We don't know.
I was about to remember that last one, bro. Shit.
Yeah. But that was a whole scandal with EA trying, not EA, but the publisher that had the rights to it. They were trying, I think it was Activision, and they were trying to. They had some agreement in a contract, sort of like with what Fox has with Marvel regarding Spider-Man.
Yeah,
how they have to have one every year, type of thing.
Sony.
So it was something like that. It was Sony. Yeah, it was Sony. So it was something like that with the Tony Hawk brand, that within like a 5-year window or something, they had to produce a game, which is why before that we had the HD version. Remember Tony Hawk HD? They did that one, and then they made Tony Hawk 5, which was horrible. That was so anyway, they're gone. Activision doesn't have this anymore, and Tony Hawk openly said he's free and he's working with another studio. So who knows? But he has his name all over these mobile games. You know, there's a Tony Hawk one for iOS and Android, so maybe it's another one of those. We don't know, but there's that. You know, so we'll have to wait and see. And then the whole thing with EA, and that was when I said there was a pro skater.
Well, we're gonna talk about EA tonight.
Yeah, so this is related to that. So he was recently on a podcast about skating and stuff like that, and someone brought up about the Tony Hawk, and he said, "Yo, they somebody, one of the reps over there, EA, hit me up talking about they want me in one of their skate games." You know, and he was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then they were like, "Yeah, it's gonna be mobile." And he's like, "I don't want that shit." He's like, I'm not putting my name on that." He's like, "I want a legit skate game." And he says, "Oh no, that's not in our future plans. We don't have plans in the future for any full-fledged game, just a mobile game." And he's like, "Nope, I'm not doing that. I'll pass." So that sucks, because this whole time everybody's hoping that they're going to do a skate game. But I still think, and I say this because of what we heard a few months ago when the EA rep said, "Hey, we're going to show some love at the Switch, and we're looking at our back catalog, and we're going to be porting things." And we're seeing it now with the super overpriced $50 Burnout Paradise coming to
Oh, yeah, that's the Nintendo tax, bro.
Yeah, that's Super Nintendo tax.
That's Super Nintendo.
Because remember when that launched, right? I think we all had it on day one for the PS4, and I got that Vertigo shit, remember? And I got dizzy.
Oh, PS3, yeah.
Yeah, no, PS4. Remember the
remaster? Oh, PS4, that's right. Yeah, I got that plat again, baby.
Yeah, but I think when that launched, I'm pretty sure when it launched, it was only like $29.
Oh, yeah, it was cheap, but you know,
it was cheap. Yeah, no, so that's what I'm saying. Usually Nintendo tax like $10 more. This is $20 more if that's the case. You know? So
wait, how much is it?
50.
Dirt! What are you thinking?
That's what I'm saying.
Yo, hold on. They got the Nintendo tax, and then they got the Rona tax on top of that, bro.
But the way I see it is like Nintendo said, "All right, we're going to put a $10 tax," and then EA's like, "But we want to make an extra $10. We don't want to lose $10, so we'll put another $10 on that shit." And then there you go. We got this overpriced shit.
Damn, skeet shit. Yeah, right everywhere, son.
That's the sound it makes when somebody downloads that shit and pays $50. You get a little squirt.
Same thing with the front of my face.
The sad thing about it is that the Nintendo fans will just eat that shit up.
Of course.
I'm really curious to see. I'm really curious to see, because the other thing, it hasn't launched yet. Anything is possible. Remember, we saw recently with Streets of Rage 4 on launch, the shit dropped a few dollars across the board. Remember, it went on discount sale and it was on launch day. So anything's possible. Maybe they'll be like, you know what? We didn't get enough pre-orders, so let's lower it. But who knows? But because of that, I think that's where we would see a Skate 3, where it's just a port. It's not a new game. So then that still goes over the whole thing of the guy, the EA rep telling the skater, "Hey, we're not working on the Skate 4. Okay, they're not making a new one. But it doesn't mean that they can't just port over. And I would be perfectly happy with a fucking port. Not even a remaster. Just a fucking port. I just want to play some skate, on the go, or Tony Hawk in that form, not on a fucking mobile one, swiping my fingers all over the place.
Yeah. Yo, hold on. I got to read this quick comment from Jeffrey. He goes, homie out here talking about skating, tagging, burnout, and now all I need is a backwards cap to go back to my prime years.
Oh, shit.
You already know, man. Yo, Jeff, did you see that video about the dudes, how they put their hats on and shit in New York? That video, I found that shit personally offensive, man.
I found that video a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
That's what that.
I'm gonna tell you why, because at the end, he's like, yo, and if you got your hat, rimmed like this, that means you're Spanish. I'm like, fuck, I bend all my fucking hats.
He didn't say Spanish. He said specifically Dominican.
Yeah, but it's for Hispanics though. Meaning, every Hispanic does that shit.
Everybody.
I bend my cap.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, you're Caribbean, bro.
No, it has nothing to do with nothing.
No, it's always been like that.
In fact, you remember the starter cap commercial with fucking Jazzy Jeff?
Yeah.
Oh, what was he doing?
That's right.
Bending the cap.
It got to the point that
no, man. So you're thinking about the stickers, though. Remember what you said about the stickers?
Yeah, the homies right now you don't even bend their caps and fucking leave the fucking stickers on there.
Yeah. Now forget the stickers; they leave the damn tag on the top.
They leave the tag on the top.
It looked like the hat was stolen, and they just put the.
It probably did steal it,
over there?
So
what happened?
Is this a new thing with you guys?
No, I've been bending my hat since I was a teenager, man.
Always
Shit.
been. I get my hat. My hats are pre-bent. Like this one, I got. And this NYCFC hat, it already came like this. So they do make them where it's not just flat,
Yeah, I got chastised by one of our listeners saying, "Yo, Tony, man, you old man, why you bending your cap? Like you're supposed to leave it short." I'm like, "Nah, I'm from New York, motherfucker. We bend our shit here."
What?
That's
weird. Well, yeah, dude. Well, no, you gotta leave the sticker on though.
No, fuck that, man.
You don't leave the sticker.
You got to take that shit off, man.
You don't leave the sticker.
I'm genuinely curious. Is this like a St. Louis, Kansas City thing that like went outwards?
Maybe.
This shit has been happening for a decade.
Oh yeah, no, it's been for a long time. I knew guys when I was still over there. They had the little tag on. They left a little cardboard brim inside, so that way it wouldn't mess the.
I remember dudes doing that shit. It's like, yo, what are you doing, man?
I take everything out.
Bend that motherfucker. Come on, man. Anyway, let's actually talk about some gaming right now. You already know how to run this.
We've been like, how long have we been on air for?
No, but we did.
We've been on there for 20 minutes.
We were talking about EA.
No, but that all that skate shit, that was gaming. It just led to the lifestyle. Another quick comment here from Jeffrey. He goes, Skater XL has a lot of promise. Sampled in early access. Didn't have much in terms of music customization, but when that drops, it'll be fire.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to that. Definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, man. All right, man. Let's get into it. We got big stuff happened this week, people. First up, we're going to talk about Inside Xbox. So the big show happened this week, the big third-party show from Xbox. We got to see our first glimpse at next gen. So we're going to go through these games one by one. All right, first up, let's get to the big one. Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Dirt?
No, not Dirt. We'll get to that later.
You weren't hyped on Dirt? Are you
Dirt 5?
What?
We'll get. Don't worry, Adam. Yeah, we'll get to it. All right, first up, we got Assassin's Creed Valhalla. This was more of a in-engine type of deal, not really gameplay. You know what I'm saying? But it looked cool. Got some more shit going on.
That shit too. He was talking about, that was gameplay. I'm like, I didn't see shit. I saw some in-game sentiment.
But wait, you know what? Before I go on, I should make the caveat for most of these. It was in engine. It wasn't really gameplay. Let's just be real.
Okay. I didn't see nobody swinging a battle.
Even though they started their show saying everything you're gonna see today is gameplay. Technically, yes, but no.
They didn't say gameplay. They did say in engine.
They said in engine.
Yeah, he said in engine.
Okay, I'm glad he said that because everybody was saying gameplay. I'm like, there's not gameplay, bro.
But
people are just stupid.
Ubisoft was
Ubisoft said
they were
saying Ubisoft. Ubisoft said it like 3 times. It's like, what was the game?
No.
Apparently Ubisoft. Apparently, Ubisoft has contextualized what actual gameplay is.
Yeah, right. Go ahead, bro.
They've been on a campaign to. I mean, this isn't again new. We've had this conversation actually before. I think where they say in-engine footage, and that tricks like 80% of the casual gamers to be like, "This is the game." It's not. They're just they're hoodwinking people again.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, the thing about it, like we've mentioned this before, where essentially, those big E3 presentations, a lot of times those things that they do on stage are everything is already. All they need to do is just walk forward, and all the different things happen. So it's an artificial. It gives you an idea of what the gameplay is supposed to be like, but it's not actual gameplay.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. Not really much more to say about Assassin's Creed. I'm already, it's Assassin's Creed. I'm going to get it. Assassin's Creed's always good stuff. What's up?
I mean, didn't he say on that thing the game was not going to be as long as the previous?
Yes, let's talk about that because
2 hours. 2 hours.
Yeah,
Enjoy. Whoa, we did it on the cheap.
Yeah, because basically, what people assumed was since Origins was so big, and then Odyssey was mad big, everybody was like, "Okay, this is gonna be the biggest Assassin's Creed game ever." Thankfully, they said, "No, it is not the biggest Assassin's Creed game." And thank you for that, Ubisoft, because Odyssey was dope, but that shit held me hostage, man. It was like, "Let me go already." There's too much shit in this game.
But don't you think that also that sort of stuff also them constantly trying to go bigger and bigger and bigger, a lot of people might be disappointed by the fact that they essentially have maybe gone back to maybe.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure the people that like the
Assassin's Creed 2 or style.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be bigger than that. But no, I see what you're saying. Like the people who like the enormity of Odyssey may be disappointed, but as long as the game's more focused, that'll be great. And you're still going to be in Norway and England, so you're going to have a lot of shit to play.
You got the plat on that.
Yeah, I got. The reason I got the plat, right? The reason I got the plat because it was faster to get the plat than 100% the game.
I'm saying is that when you looked at the trophies, though, you could probably see at what point people just stop fucking playing because you start seeing the rare and ultra rare, and you're like, you could do the math in your head. Like,
listen, we talk about that on Throwdown all the time. People always ask for longer games, but they never finish them. So it's like, what the fuck you asking for?
It's okay. See, here's the problem with that. It's what kind of game?
All of them.
If you have a very no, because people love the amount of gameplay in fucking Skyrim, for instance. It's about the gameplay loop. And if you do the same gameplay loop over and over again in a repeated fashion, it's gonna get kind of tired out. That makes any sense?
Yes, but okay. Actually, this is a little bit aside the virgin, but whatever. Okay, I kind of see what you're saying. It's like maybe somebody put 200 hours. I'm just speaking theoretically now. Put 200 hours into Skyrim, but they didn't actually beat the game. Right? Is that what you're talking about? Kind of.
Well, don't put 200. Well, okay. The point that I'm going for, and I'm just going to get straight to it, is this game isn't as big because it's centered a different way. It's centered on a settlement, which I think is actually a really great idea. I too have become sick of giant empty open worlds. And I love open world games, but there's a certain point where it just becomes hop on your ship, go to the next place, kill a bunch of people, hop on your ship, go to the next place, kill a bunch of people, hop on your ship, go to the next place, kill a really hard guy and a bunch of people. It's just a severe. Eventually, you're just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. The element of the settlement that you're building up, instead of going from point A to point B, you go from and then to point C to point D. You go from point A to point B, and then back to point A, and then back and over to point C, and then back to point A and back to point D. So you're going to have probably immersive storyline developing around your settlement in your home clan. You're going to make decisions that help build it up. You're going to see progression, which is, honestly, it's rewarding. Seeing something especially in things like Fallout or whatever, you see something like, I built this motherfucker. Even in Elder Scrolls 4, I want to say, you go up to Skyrim and you build a little settlement. And you just make a couple decisions, but it builds there and you're like, I did this. It's pretty fucking cool. So it's a different gameplay loop. So I think it'll have as much gameplay. It's just you're not going from point A to point B to point C to point D, never to return. And there's honestly no point to. Why should you? What's the fun of killing or fighting people in an empty village just to go on and know that you have that territory and never fucking return unless you're hunting rares? It just doesn't sound fun. You move on or come back and do the tedious shit. And this way, they're cycling the gameplay a little bit different.
So it's it's essentially a more developed version than the Assassin's Creed. I think Revelations, not Revelations, the other one before that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Brotherhood. Remember where you had to free the districts in it?
Yeah, and you're building up the mansion.
Yeah.
They're kind of backing a little bit more into that, which I think it's good. I like the idea of coming home to a home base, settling down, doing some quiet rebuilding shit, and then going out. It's almost the idea of going out on a mission or having a level. It's just we've gone into this just go to the next place, go to the next place, go to the next place, go to the next place so fast that I kind of miss the light, level breaks.
Yeah, so hopefully they introduce that, because I really did enjoy that in the previous ones. You're right. It's like you get a lot of gameplay out of that, but it's a different one because you feel more rewarded because you're actually building towards something as opposed to, okay, just here's a giant fucking map, go do the same shit on different islands. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I hope that's true. All right. Anything else?
They actually talked. This is from the developers. They were talking about how the settlement will change. It'll change dependent on your choices, and it'll be something that you return to consistently. And the story will center around your village and the adventures you go on from there. Like that's straight from. It's not a hopefully they'll do that. That's what they're doing.
Oh no. Hopefully they won't. They'll keep to that. That's what I mean to say. Hopefully they'll keep to that. Because remember, we had Peter Molyneux. Hey, you can plant it. You can plant a seed and it'll grow. Yeah. Where's that tree at, bro? I'm still waiting for that shit to grow.
Whoa.
But we did get stable from that shit. So I gotta say, aim for the moon.
I'd appreciate it if they just went more linear with something. It just made like an Uncharted with some little side shit, but don't focus it. Just give us a story. You're these Vikings. You go over to England. You deal with the battles. Then you go to another island and you get eaten by cannibals, and that's it. That's the story. That's how it ends for them. So.
Oh man. All right.
That is the Viking story. Like you're born a Viking. If you're not the first son, you don't inherit land. So you get on a fucking ship, go over to England, kick the crap out of them, come back, bring a bunch of money, and found your own settlement as soon as you find land, and then just keep doing it, man. Like that's
until you die.
The history of the Vikings over and over.
Awesome. All right, next up we have a game. This is going to be fun. This is a game called Bright Memory Infinite. It's made by a single Chinese developer, but apparently this is not a new game, as Manny and Brian informed me.
Oh no, this game...
Manny, we can't hear you, bro.
I said that's not the game that I was talking about.
You're talking about another one.
It's the HR Giger game.
Okay, we'll get to that in a bit. Anyway, Brian, okay, so it was you that told me about this one then.
Yes. So this game, I recognize it in like 5 seconds because whenever she kept on like falling over, I could hear her, and I was like, wait, this is a female protagonist. It looks incredibly shiny. There's gunplay and blade play. So I'm like, this sounds like the Bright Memories game that I just put on my wish list like 2 months ago. It's like, no, it can't be. And then it came to the end, and it's like, yeah, this is the final boss of that demo reel. Like, wait, what? This is the game. Like, so basically that game is technically in early access on PC, I guess you want to call that. So yeah, it's been a thing for a couple of months now, and I've been following it because it looks really quite nice. Because again, it's kind of mixing up the ideas of Devil May Cry with like combo your enemies, and plus you have a gun and a blade in first person, which is very rare these days. So yeah, it is coming out, and I am very happy. It looks cool, looks very, very, very shiny. If you want to know, the early access is on PC for like $8, $10. It's like really cheap but really short, but it's well worth it.
Yeah.
So, it's just like, this game's cool, great.
One thing I found interesting when I was watching this trailer, because I had no idea this game even existed, I was like, wow, this thing's ripping off every single game under the sun. Then when I heard this from a Chinese developer, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's kind of what they do. They just rip off everybody else, cheap knockoffs and shit, So I wasn't surprised by that. But it graphically, it does look nice, and the fact that a single person, that's really fucking impressive.
It makes me think about that other game that that Sony showed years ago, where it was like a Devil May Cry sort of game that one Chinese developer was making on Unreal. Remember that one?
I remember that. They showed that at
Lost Soul, I think it is.
Yeah, yeah. They showed that at PlayStation Experience, the last PlayStation Experience. People liked it apparently. All right. So after that, we have a game called Call of the Sea, which is like a first-person puzzle game with this woman stuck on a island. Very nice-looking game, graphics and all that shit.
It definitely kind of broke the kind of bleakness of all the other games that were on.
That's a good point.
Every single one of those games is like in some dark dystopian sort of weird world.
Yeah, that one was not. It's very bright, very colorful, very nice looking.
Somewhat cel shaded looking.
Yeah. That was cool. I like that. All right. Next up, I guess the rest of these are gonna be bleak and whatever. This game called Chorus. It looks like a space shooting game.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, they don't make a lot of. Brian, go ahead, man. You can tell us about this. I think you like this genre, don't you?
Yeah, they actually don't make that many space games.
No, they don't.
So to see this be on main stage like that is like, okay, this is interesting. This is different. It looks kind of like arcadey, which is kind of fun. Again, sometimes you can have it's like racing games. You can have your arcadey ones, like your Burnout, and then you can have your Gran Turismos. There's nothing wrong with that. It's nice. So hence, this is like the arcade version of space games. So cool, great, looks nice. I'll put on the list. And Tony, I do have a question for you. It's kind of controversial. But has she, and you know who she is, spoken up yet, or said anything yet, or come out from underneath her rock yet?
Not that I've heard of, but now that you mention it, I will not be surprised if she, who shall not be named, if you guys have been listening to Throwdown, you know who we're talking about from back in the day. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised because we did see a lot more female protagonists, which is a cool thing, obviously, but she'll probably have something to say about that, as she is wont to do when she needs attention, when no one's giving it to her.
Yeah, when the money starts drying up.
Anyway, so yeah, space shooter, man, yeah, bring it. The last space shooter I remember playing was early on PS4, and it was made by one of the guys who had a hand in Gundam. Forgetting the fucking name of it, but it was on PC first too, Brian. I don't know if you remember the game. You're literally like a transformable robot and shit.
No, I was thinking of Resogun.
No, this is not Resogun. This is something else, but that's not. But that's what this game reminded me of. But hey, cool stuff. All right, next up, Adam, this is where you take over. Dirt 5. I'm going to say this about Dirt 5. I didn't know they made Dirt 3 and 4.
I stopped playing after Dirt 2. It's just they're dirt rally games, and they're all right. They're rally games. It reminds me of the Sega Rally ones, but
yeah, now they got Nolan North and Troy Baker in it.
They must be adding a deep story because there was no story in the other ones. It was just
are they playing the cars like?
You have a driver and then you also have your buddy in rally car who's like helping you. Who's like, all right, left turn, 10 meters or whatever.
And then their the antagonist is they're both, it's bad guy good guy thing. So
that's what
one guy's gonna be like, hey, you're doing great, and the other guy's like, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, Brian, what were you saying, man?
Yay, another game with Nolan North and Troy Baker.
I thought it would have been more interesting if they were the actual cars. Hey, Troy, I'm thirsty. Do you have any more gasoline? Yeah, but, that'd be awesome.
I just figured they would.
Then the bad guy's a pickup truck and shit, with a Confederate flag on it.
Oh, you think? Remember Driver? Driver was sort of like that.
Yeah. Oh man.
Anybody, but you were just a car, and then you would get to some points, and then you would see a cutscene and stuff. It was always.
Yeah. No, Sketch, you crazy, man.
And there's another one that's part of that.
It's another one.
That service, that smart delivery. We're
going to talk about smart delivery in a bit.
So that's another one of it. But I wasn't that impressed.
All these games are smart delivery, by the way.
No, not all of them.
Not all of them.
Oh, which one? Which?
Madden ain't that fucking.
Okay, well, all the ones I've named so far are
Xbox Game Pass. Some of them had that on there.
Yeah, okay.
I can't remember which ones though.
I'll let you know because I'm reading this list here, and so far all the ones I've talked about are all smart delivery.
I think that island game might have been an Xbox Game Pass game.
It says smart delivery. Oh, here's one that is not smart delivery. There's some bullshit about this one though. Okay, this game is smart delivery up until the end of the year. Madden 21. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's a fucking football game. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, it's bullshit. It's bullshit because no one cares. But
here's the thing. We don't care, but a lot of people do care.
When I mean no one cares is that people are just still going to buy it. And that's the problem. It's that people just keep buying it. If hopefully they stop, because then smart delivery makes sense. Or just having a service of paying $20, $30 for just an upgrade for the rosters makes sense.
Check this out.
$60 makes sense for this.
I want to read this.
Not now.
Yeah, I agree. I want to read this. This is from Wario64. If you follow him on Twitter,
he's discounts and stuff.
Yeah. So he says, it seems that Madden NFL 21 is not actually supporting smart delivery, but an offer with some restrictions. Purchase the game by December 31st and upgrade to Xbox Series X by March 31st of 2021. So if you get that shit on April 1st, 2021, you ain't getting shit. You have to rebuy it, basically.
So they're giving you a cutoff date.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that was something that I was wondering when this whole smart delivery service first got announced. I'm like, all right, this is a great way to ease people in that don't maybe, especially now with the economy, it's like, I don't have money for the whole thing, but I'd like to get some of that. Well, get these games and then eventually you can get in work. But I wasn't sure if it was just the first year of games or is this going to be within the whole lifespan of the Xbox One? So the entire span of the Xbox One, you will always have this function and this feature, or is this just for the first year when Series X is out? Then after that, all the games that start coming out are not going to support. I don't even think we have a clear answer on that, right?
No, we don't. Not that I know of, man.
So it's like when next year comes about, is this still going to be a thing? Or it's going to be like, nah, man, we're going back to either it's not going to be available for Xbox One, which I don't think they would do that because but that's whatever, anything's possible.
No, they're going to have both versions available.
Yeah, or they're going to say, oh, no, now you got to pay $60 separate. We're going back to that.
I think that's what they're going to do.
Well, they have to announce that, or because if not, then people are going to be.
They're going to be forced to have announced it. But I think, Manny, I hopefully I'm not speaking for you, but I think you were going to say that they're not going to say anything until they have to, right?
No, they're not going to say anything they have to. Why throw a monkey wrench into something that's already sounds really interesting to people? You put out the good word and like, hey everybody, and then that's when you go later down the line, that's when they say, oh, but it's a limited time.
Well, that's the thing, limited time. I don't think it's going to be that limited, which is why Madden is coming out. EA is saying that it is limited, because if that was the case, then everybody would have said it. But the fact that they came out and said, no, you got this window, this is limited, so you're really limited.
I think the other thing about all of this is, what if is this thing evergreen? Like, in other words, if you bought a game like years ago, or maybe earlier in the generation, and then you finally decided to buy a new Xbox, upgrade to the new one, will you be able to do this?
I think so, because it's from what you buy. Once you purchase it, that's it. That's what the way Phil kept saying is like, when you buy it, whenever you buy it, this works. So those games, that's what I'm saying. I know that'll definitely happen. I just don't know for newer titles.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. It's like no one's going to be buying Madden 21 in 2024, for example. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you never know. It depends on the players.
Maybe that
players don't longer play. Yeah. You want those Hall of Famers.
Maybe that's why EA is doing this limited deal with it, because they know nobody's going to be buying. Previous Madden.
That's right. That's right. That's a good point.
But
by the time the next year comes, the new Madden's already going to be coming out. Why should they? Offer an upgrade system for a game from last year?
Yeah, I agree.
I see it differently with EA only because they have their own EA access. It's still funny that they're even willing to make these type of deals when they're charging $4.99, for these games for people to play. So,
hey, get your money wherever you can.
There you go. But I mean, the smart move, and the fact that those services are there. So if anything, just say, hey, $4.99, you can the EA access is there, and you can play all these fucking games.
Oh shit, my man has Marvel vs. Capcom back there.
Who?
You, man, behind you.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, you got me now. I'm like, what? That wasn't announced. Phil didn't say that shit.
I'm gonna say something controversial right now. The last good Marvel vs. Capcom game.
Yeah, Marvel.
I said it, man.
You know what's funny? Oh, it's talking about emails, right? So Arcade 1-Up sent me an email, right? And it was like, hey, can you fill this out? We just want to get some info and blah, blah, blah. And they were asking what new titles or what titles I would like to see, and I think should be in an arcade format. Definitely the Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Why not? I think that'd be a hot seller, and they already have that partnership with Capcom. So, Bionic Commando.
Yeah, Sketch, I'll be honest, I didn't like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 as much as everybody else did. I liked it, don't get me wrong, but not like that. I felt it was... I'll be honest, that fucking music got to me, man. It really did. That fucking... And then they only had 7 stages. It was cheap, Yeah, I don't know. And then some of the character sprites didn't fit in well together, Like Morgan still had that old ass sprite, from Darkstalkers, which looked great in Darkstalkers, but it didn't look as good compared to the other guys, Anyway, that's a whole other topic right there. I go off like how like fighting games for me. Like I realize like the fighting games I don't like. They don't have music. I don't like Street Fighter 3. I don't like very much. I don't like Street Fighter Alpha 3. The music I didn't like the music in any of those games. You know. Anyway, where the fuck are we? Next game, Brian. I want your thoughts on this because this looks like it's right up your alley. It's called Scarlet Nexus from Bandai Namco. It looks like that fucking the Nintendo
like
Switch
Astral
game.
Chain.
Yeah, it looks like Astral Chain. You know. So what are your thoughts on that, Brian?
I thought the same thing. I'm like, wait, is this like an Astral Chain 2? Like, okay, this is interesting. And then I seen some more, and it's like, wait, no, it's Bandai Namco. So is this going to be like a Code Vein 2? Because it's kind of similar to that. But either way, it looks interesting. I like the character designs. I mean, they're kind of like, what the fuck is that? It's like a mixture of half human, half plant. So it's like,
Yeah, that was weird.
What is that about? Yeah, so it looks interesting. It seems to be like an action combat type game. So yeah, I'm excited. It's on my list.
Cool. So yeah, this one is also smart delivery, and who knows when it's coming? It says TBA. We don't know. Actually, hold on. I want to go backtrack a little bit, if you guys don't mind. So Assassin's Creed, that is definitely coming out the holiday 2020, right? Bright Memory Infinite, TBA. We don't know. Call of the Sea, TBA. Chorus, TBA. Dirt 5, October 2020. Okay. Madden 2020, probably August, and Scarlet Nexus is also TBA. This is shit I'm talking about. It's like it doesn't matter, even though I don't know if any of these studios are Microsoft specific studios, but I'm like, just because these games are cooking doesn't mean they're going to be dropping on day one. You know, just keep that in mind.
Well, didn't the Yakuza game? They said that was a launch title. The dude said.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, we're going to get to Yakuza in a bit. All right. Yeah. Again, I'm just going down the line here. The next game up here is Scorn. Man, you could tell us about this. The HR Giger type of game.
Yeah. So when I saw this Scorn, which was actually kind of funny. I remember seeing it from 2017. In fact, on Twitter, I posted the gameplay of this game.
Excuse me?
From 2017. Yeah. So back then, it was
even further. It was first announced in 2016. Like, if you go on YouTube, the first trailer is literally like 2016.
Yeah.
And it was slated for 2019
Is this
release.
the same game with the bone gun? The guy with the weird...
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's that game.
Yeah, it looks like HR Giger, and they've been talking about this game for quite a while. So now it's weird to kind of go back to doing a kind of a I don't know what kind of trailer you call it, because it's in engine, but it's not. You know, it's just you know what I mean. It's not a CGI thing, but it's like kind of like a show off shorter trailer. I don't know. So it's weird. It's weird to see this game again, because it's like wasn't that announced for the previous generation. So, it's I mean, it's interesting looking, but I don't know how well that sort of aesthetic is going to go with people,
Yeah. Also, this game also to be announced. We don't know, and it is not smart delivery.
Which is interesting. So does that mean that are they just locking it to the new console, or is it going to just be or they're going to make it so that you can get it from, you have to buy them separately?
I think who knows? That's a good question. I have no idea.
Because I mean, could they just be skipping the previous generation that they announced it for?
Maybe. Who knows? It depends. Who knows? All right. Next up, we have this game called Second Extinction, which is like it looks like Turok Dinosaur Hunter on another planet, basically. Also to be announced, and it does have smart delivery. It's a 3-player co-op shooter about fighting giant mutated reptiles. They're fucking dinosaurs.
It was a re-extinction or something like that, or extinction again.
Well, it's called second extinction.
That's it, second extinction.
Yeah, I saw the trailer too, and I was like, "Is this Turok?" It's like Earth has fallen. I'm like, "It's dinosaurs," and you shoot them with guns.
God, that should be in arcades.
Yeah, I like how Chris.
Oh, Cadillacs and dinosaurs. Adam, remember that shit? Man?
Yeah, it's
dinosaurs.
It's dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs. All right. So, by the way, I can't confirm this, but I heard this game is an actual legit exclusive for Xbox. Can't confirm that, but I heard because most of these games that we're talking about right now, they're going to be on multiple consoles, PlayStation 5.
They all said world premiere.
I'm glad you bring that up because and this is something Manny and I talk about all the time. Like, because every time Manny, whenever we go to E3, right, we're always like, okay, they said world premiere, they didn't say exclusive, because when there's exclusive, they throw that shit in your face,
Yeah.
Xbox Windows 10 exclusive. They throw that shit in your face. We didn't hear that at all.
Exclusive.
Yeah, we didn't hear any of that today.
No, it was just world premiere. When whatever. And obviously, that game that I was just talking about didn't say world premiere, by the way, because it wasn't.
No, you're right about that. All right, next up we have this game called The Ascent. It looks like kind of like Cyberpunk, but like an isometric type of deal going on. I don't know what you
That's
guys,
like the first thing. That's like the first thing they showed, pretty much, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
One of them. It's like third or fourth game.
They showed Dirt early. I remember Dirt.
Yeah, no, this was a little bit later, but yeah, I don't know. Nothing really grabbed me about it, to be honest.
I mean, it just it's interesting because they show you all these sort of elaborate sort of zooming things, and then all of a sudden, hey, it's an isometric game. Like, I don't know. Now it kind of lost its mystique.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Chris.
I just say I wasn't impressed by it because it's like there's games like that right now. Like, I was looking at it. I'm like, PS4 and Xbox One could do that now. It's like I want to see shit that's like, okay, that looks impressive.
All right. Well, I'm going to get to that in a bit because that's kind of a sticking point I have with this whole presentation. Anyway, next game is called The Medium. This is hold on a second. The Ascent is TBA and it will be smart delivery. All right, so the next up we have The Medium, also TBA. We're sensing a theme tonight, and it will not have smart delivery. And this is kind of like a supernatural type of game. It had a pregnant woman in there and some shit.
That's the one that has the Yuzo Koshiro soundtrack, right?
No, it's not. It's another guy. His name is Akira Yamaoka.
Yamaoka, yeah, the guy who did all the Silent Hill music.
Yeah, you were talking about. You were thinking Yuzo is the Streets of Rage guy.
Is the Streets of Rage? Yeah, got the Streets of Rage in the brain.
Yo, man, you getting your Japanese all mixed up. Yeah. But yeah. Silent Hills. Yeah, he did that. So could be.
He didn't do Silent Hills.
The composer, it says. That's what it says here. I'm just reading what it says, man.
Not Silent Hills. He had nothing to do with Silent Hills.
Silent Hill. Gotcha.
Singular. Hill.
Yeah.
Singular.
Did he even have a composer for Silent Hills? Like
Silent Hills. They had one little bit of music in there that was probably done by somebody else inside of the house.
Some Kojima found in his tape deck.
Yeah, somebody in his team that Kojima Productions.
Yeah, Silent Hill. Excuse me.
Yes. Not Silent Hills.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it Silent Hills. Like he did hip hop gamers like, yo, I'm gonna call him Hideo, son. That's how I pronounce it. So yeah, spooky type of game. All right,
it's interesting. It's a survival horror sort of type of game where they fuck with your brain.
Yeah, right? Pretty much. Hey, it could be some Eternal Darkness shit. That'd be cool. All right, next up we have Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. So this
was also announced quite a long time ago as well.
Yes, we knew about this. They didn't say premiere or nothing. Release date is this year, and it will have smart delivery. And if you like the first game, I guess check this one out. I've never played any of these Bloodline games, so I can't comment.
I mean, it was sort of a long-awaited game.
Vampire
the Masquerade
was the last one like 22 years ago?
Jesus.
Or something like that?
Yeah,
I mean, the first one's old. Yeah.
I know people are hyped for it, so good for them. They're getting their game. All
right.
I
hope they're able to capture that same sort of feel from the previous.
Well, it looked twisted. I mean, you had that guy dancing around the Christmas tree, and he had people strung up like marionettes with like Joker smiles on their faces. I was like,
that shit was crazy.
First I didn't know it was vampires. I'm like, yo, this is some like Dexter shit. What is happening right now? And then later you see the powers and stuff. I was like, oh, it's vampires. Okay.
Yeah, I kind of got a sort of feel that like, wait a minute, kind of a vampire-looking people. This might be Vampire the Masquerade.
Yeah. All right, and the last game that we're going to talk about tonight, before we give our thoughts on this whole presentation, Yakuza Like a Dragon. It's coming holiday 2020, and it's going to have smart delivery. This is the turn-based Yakuza game that it already came out in Japan earlier this year, but now it's going to come to PlayStation and Xbox during the holidays. And I'm very excited about this. This is a Yakuza game. Give me that
Dude
shit.
has an afro.
Yeah, give me that fucking game, man. I love me some Yakuzas.
Isn't it pretty interesting that they didn't show a 7 in the title?
No, they didn't. It's just like a dragon, you know?
Even though he did say 7, and when they didn't translate it though,
Yeah.
he said he's like 70.
70.
But they never translated it on the bottom.
Yeah.
You know why they're doing that? And this is my tinfoil hat theory.
Oh.
I'm going to borrow it from Chris. I think they're omitting the 7 so it can seem like it's a new game. Because this game already
I agree.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, I thought this was already something separate from that because it's turn-based. That this was in its own. This is like a spin-off. Like,
It is
I tried to.
Yeah, no, but it actually is 7, yeah.
It is 7, but I think that is why that's part of the reason why they decided to call it Like a Dragon, to try to give it that sort of separation. Because in Japan it's not called Like a Dragon, is it?
It's called Fun.
It's just called
No.
it's just called 7. It's just called 7.
That's what the Japanese version of it was. The name of the game in Japan is Like a Dragon.
Yeah, but I mean, it does say. I'm looking at the poster, literally big fucking 7 right on it. You know, the Japanese poster.
In Japan, it's Like a Dragon 7.
Yes.
Here, what they did was to make it sound like a new game, they just used the original name. Used Yakuza, which what we called it here, and then put Like a Dragon, the original name of it, and then pulled off the 7.
Yeah, it's funny because the name of the studio is Like a Dragon. Ryo ga Gotoku. I probably said that wrong. That's the name of the studio, but that phrase means like a dragon.
Yeah.
You know? Pretty interesting. All right, so, yeah, go ahead, Ben.
I just said Like a Dragon in Spanish.
Like a dragon.
Como un dragón. You know? All right, so, that was the Xbox showcase of the third-party games. So what do we think about overall? I have some thoughts, especially about some of the reactions. How I got to go off on these Twitter guys, man. But I'll let you guys go first.
I mean, to be honest, to quote Torrance, there wasn't any megatons in all of that.
There weren't even any microtons.
It was just like, okay, look, we got a couple of games that look, pretty nice, but nothing to really write home about. I don't feel like I saw the future. I just felt like I saw a slightly shinier version of the generation that we're currently sitting in.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Usually when you lead off, you want to entice people to watch the rest of the Inside Xbox. So you would kind of start with something big, right? And then you lead in whatever. What they started with, I can't even remember. And then it went into Dirt 5. And I thought Forza looks better than this.
Forza is better than that.
Yeah, so I wasn't impressed. I'm like, okay, I just keep watching, whatever. I saw that Ascent game. I saw the one with the lady in the third Call of the Sea or whatever, and I was like, it's colorful and stuff, but I'm like, I'm not seeing anything that's like, oh, this is next gen. Oh wow, nothing was like amazing me. I was like, you could do this now. I don't understand. Like, this is supposed to show off the Series X. I don't get it.
Yeah,
and Chris, the thing is, they are doing this now. These are smart delivery games, so they're going to be playing on the Xbox One and the X.
Yeah,
but that's the problem.
Yeah,
yeah. If most of the games under a smart delivery, right? That means that only with the few of them, they're probably not going to be. Most of them are probably going to be sitting on an Xbox One.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I don't see that.
This is equivalent to showing contrast. A PlayStation 3 game on a PlayStation 4 sizzle reel doesn't make any sense.
I see this whole thing sort of like with the way we have it on PC games. When you have a PC game, and let's say you have the GeForce experience, and then you can put it on Ultra, and you can have all the different settings, and that's it. If not, you have it on the base setting, and that's it on Xbox One. But if you do get your next one, it will get bumped up to that Ultra setting. That's pretty much it. Because what is it? It's not going to be new content. They said it. It's going to be identical. It's just not going to have the graphical fidelity and then the processing power and all that stuff. So,
yeah, for me,
go ahead.
For me, I mean, this is probably like the first time where I'm like, I think I don't know if it's not a misstep, but it's definitely not a step forward for me. A lot of the titles were intriguing, but none of them got me hyped. Just because most of them, if not all of them, didn't have any gameplay in it. That's what attracts me the most. The only time I get hyped for CG or in-engine trailers are when they're established franchise where I know what I'm getting or that I'm hyped for, that I wasn't expecting. But as far as like new titles, new franchises, I kind of need to see the gameplay just to see how this game's gonna play and how it'll all work and how it looks and yeah, like do those in-depth, walkthroughs and gameplay reveals. That's what gets me hyped more. But from this one, it's not. It didn't really get me hyped, kind of like everyone else. So I guess maybe I'm more excited now for the first party stuff than I was earlier today. Hopefully they bring something then.
Yeah. I was just say, go ahead, Manny.
I was saying, it's funny, like early on in the thing, they actually did say, don't worry, we're going to have our first party things. We're going to have Double Fine and we're going to have all the guys doing something. So
yeah, we're going to have our 15 studios, 15.
Yeah. Because that was the thing. A lot of people online was like, they're definitely going to throw something right at the end. And I was like, no.
They didn't. They said third person. They said third.
They said it. No, but people are dumb on the internet.
Yeah. So you know what? I'm going to use that. Even though I have some thoughts on this, I'm going to use that as a segue, man. Because some people are okay. Gamers do this shit all the fucking time, right? They get themselves hyped to the moon. Then when they don't get here's the thing. The things they want are fucking unrealistic most of the time, right? They were saying, they're going to show Elden Ring. So they didn't show Elden Ring. I'm fucking pissed. They didn't show Elden Ring. Did they tell you they were going to show Elden Ring? Why the fuck are you getting so hyped for that? So anyway, these dudes getting so hyped for this shit. And then you get exactly what they told you. You're going to get third-party games. They gave you third-party games. People are fucking pissed. So it's like, what is it? I remember, by the way, this is from Malik Forte. That was a great one. He was like, people were mad at Xbox last gen when they didn't show any games. Now they did show games. People are still mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't fucking win. Now, but to be fair, though, just to be fair, the games we showed today, even though they were good, right? I think that's the problem. It wasn't anything to get you excited. Like you guys said, like, and this is something I didn't even think about until like an hour before the show. I was like, all those fucking games we saw look like current gen games. None of them look insane. And then I'm like, is this a taste? And I know there's cross gen and all that other shit, but I'm like, it feels like the beginning of this generation, right? Where like everything looked the same. And even now at the end of this generation, nothing really changed in 7 years, like.
I gotta find that it was I forgot what site did an interview with a developer who was working on one of these big games, and he even said it. He was talking about, it's like, people are expecting to be blown away graphically. That's not what's happening with these consoles. It's going to be more about the underneath on what's happening with the processing, with the speed, short load time. That's really where they're going to go for. They're not really pushing on the graphical stuff. You really want that, get yourself a supercomputer. But you're not going to see them. That's what people are expecting, and we're not going to get that. And this is proof we're not getting.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. But the other thing, again, like I already hinted at, it's like I hate when people they hype themselves up for things that were not even hinted are going to be announced. Then they get mad when they're not announced. Like,
we all do that a little bit. I did that with Skate.
I don't do that shit, man. I'm like, like basically, I'll go in and go, hey, it would be cool if they show that, but if they don't show it, I'm not going to get mad because they didn't say they were going to do it. But yeah, no, again, the games look fine. There's nothing really wrong there. It's just they don't really scream next gen. I don't know if that's unfair to say that, but it's like, but again, it's these fans, and I got to go off on the ponies a little bit, man. They were using this show as a referendum on Xbox. Look at all these shitty Xbox games. This is the Series X. This Series X games are gonna fucking suck. And I'm like, you idiots realize that 80% of these games are gonna be on PlayStation 5, right? so PlayStation 5 sucks too. Then the fuck out of here. These guys are insane.
Note, Tony, yeah. What was released at Sony's big secret reveal that they were gonna do to one up Microsoft?
Nothing. Yeah, that didn't happen. Remember?
I mean, well, no. I'm saying that they were so sure about it. I've been looking on the internet and I haven't seen anything.
Well, those people are idiots. Those people are idiots. I
know this is sarcasm.
Yeah.
Brett, is that the one that happened in February or in March or in April?
No, he was talking about the one that was supposed to one up this one. Remember, by the way, I know what Brett's referencing. Remember, we got asked that question. Are they going to reveal PlayStation 5 this week? Like, bro, no. Come on, man. But yeah, the stupid stuff with the fanboys, like, oh, look how stupid all these Xbox games are. That's the future. That's the most powerful system. It looks stupid. I'm like, word, that's PS5 games too you're looking at, you dumbass.
Dude, you can't say that shit without it. Do we know the final specs of the PS5 for sure?
Don't we? I thought we did.
Yeah, we know most of them. Yeah.
Okay.
The consoles are basically the same, man. You know.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's basically the same. Does Sony have like some magic thing that I don't know about?
Oh no, Brett! Don't say it. Don't say
No
it.
secret sauce.
No, I said don't say it.
Brett, it's not a secret sauce. It's a super secret drive.
Oh.
I hate both of you right now, man. Oh no, but it's like insane. Mighty Nerd says not all the specs, but we generally know. Listen, let's just be real. These consoles are not going to be that dissimilar from one another.
Yeah,
it's going to be the same shit. You know?
We know CPU, GPU, the memory. We know it's going to have an Ultra HD drive.
Yeah.
We don't know like the IOs. Probably that's one of the things that we don't know.
Yeah, weren't you paying attention to Mark Cerny's dissertation on the physics of PS5 and 3D audio?
Yeah, and then the other thing I got to go off on, Adam, you and I may butt some heads about this one.
Oh, shit.
I saw dudes, and this is on the Xbox side now, right? They were touting smart delivery, right? It's this great, new, innovative thing that's never been seen before. Before I get to what I say, I got to say smart delivery is a very good thing, right? This should be standard across the board because people shouldn't be made to double dip on the same fucking game. Buy a game once, you play it on your Xbox One and Xbox Series X or your PS4, PS5, bam, right? But we've seen this before, right? As a matter of fact, and here's some examples, right? And I'm going to get to the best example a little bit later. First one is Xbox is already doing this, a version of it with Play Anywhere, right? You buy like Gears of War 5, right? And you get to play it on your Xbox One, your Xbox One X, or your PC, play it everywhere, right? So they have a version of it. This is basically the next level of smart delivery of Play Anywhere because it encompasses third parties. And as Riku-san one, the only one pointed this one out. I forgot this shit, PlayStation had this for some games, very limited amount of games, but it had it, right? Where basically if you buy one game, you could play it on your PS4, your PS3, and your PS Vita, right? So we've had shit like this before. So my thing is like, stop saying it's a revolution. We've never seen it before. We have seen it before. But Adam, and I know what you were going to say. Now we're going to see it as a standard. That is cool.
Well, not even that. Not even that. It said, and that's what I brought up before with the whole thing. Yeah, we saw where it would come up to the other versions, but it didn't upgrade. It wasn't a new version. It was just like ports. It was like, oh, you get it on this one, you can play it on that, and you can play it on that.
What makes you?
But they are ports, though.
These are not. These are fully up. It's no different than if we get a PC game, and then it's the same thing. If your video card can support it, your experience will look completely different from somebody who has like a 950 or 750. That's true, Tony.
No, I know.
I have a 1080i.
Yeah, hold on.
And I have a 750, and I'm like, I'm playing the game too. You're like, your experience is going to look completely different than mine.
Not completely different,
performance-wise and visually, and that's what they're saying with these. So these are officially upgrades. This is not a little bump.
Okay, so you're telling me that if just for an example, right? I think World of Final Fantasy is one of the games, right? You buy World of Final Fantasy, you're telling me if I'm playing it on PS3 and I could also play on PS4, I'm not going to see that graphical jump. I'm going to see it.
Then you're not seeing what they are saying is there. There's nothing else additional to it. So you're seeing whatever it can perform. If it's faster, it's going to perform faster because it's a faster system. That's the way it works. But they didn't add anything to enhance it. If they said, "Oh, hey, you're going to get it on this one," and guess what? We did all these enhancements. And
how do we know they're going to have enhancsements, though?
How do we know? They said it. They've openly said it.
Adam, let Manny go. Manny, you go ahead, man.
Here's the thing. How do you know it's just not it's not just downloading the Xbox Series X version of the game?
It is.
So how is that even?
It is. It's because you won't have to buy it. This is it. You are getting a better version.
So what is the difference?
Wait, Manny, go ahead, Manny.
What is the difference between that and getting one that's for the PlayStation 3 and one that's for the PlayStation 4?
Thank you.
What's
What
the
are you talking
difference?
about? The difference is whatever they have in there that's different. If let's
And
say
no-
they said, if they said, for example, the best example, let's say
Guys, stop talking over each other. Manny, let Adam go first, and then you go ahead. Adam, say.
Yeah, right. Let's say Dead Rising, right? Let's say you played Dead Rising on PS3 or something, and it said, "Hey, we got 10 zombies on there." But if you play it on the PS4, it supports up to 30.
No. We can't go that far, Adam. That you're speculating.
We can't go that far. Exactly. But because they don't do that shit. But now that we know that with this version that you get on Xbox One, they said, "Hey, you bought it. It's going to work, and it's going to be upgraded and optimized because of the whole SSD."
You do realize this is going to be graphics. They're not going to throw any more gameplay shit in there.
Exactly, they're not. But it's going to support more, and that's what they did say. They said it's going to support more. So the draw distance is going to be more. So if you couldn't see, I don't know, a field of enemies coming from the distance because it just wasn't strong enough on the Xbox One, you will see that on the Series X. If let's say the speed itself, some of the cars weren't moving right, maybe there were some background cars or traffic on the streets that you didn't see on Xbox One, you will be able to see it because on the Series X because it can support it. That's the whole point. We're definitely going to see it when we see the comparison videos when these games come out, and if we see one for one and they look identical, yeah, then you can scream we got ripped off. That they're ripping off everybody and everyone's a chump.
All right, maybe this is the cynic in me. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. You know what I think is going to happen with these games? And Manny, I'm sorry. I hope you don't mind if I just jump in real quick. What's going to happen with these games that are available on all these systems, they're just going to look better on the more powerful system. They're going to be the exact same game. They're only going to be shinier. I guarantee you that shit. They are not going to add it. Manny, go ahead. You're trying now.
Yeah, I don't think
that's exactly what I was going to say. And I'm like, it's like again, it's like I'm thinking it's the same idea from the 3 to the 4 idea, right?
And Vita too,
And the Vita. It's essentially they do look better when each iteration that you go up.
Yes.
So this is pretty much going to be the same sort of idea. You're getting the PlayStation, you're getting the Xbox Series X version of the game. Is it that marginally? Is it that going to be that different from the original? It's going to look a little bit shinier. Maybe it runs at a little bit of a higher resolution, all that sort of stuff. But officially, is all it's really going to be.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
and
that goes to our point.
Yeah, but the biggest part, and you said it, the biggest part. What's the biggest part of all this?
That people save money.
Exactly. That's the
no, but I'm not knocking that part. No one's knocking it.
No,
that's great.
Know, and I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying that is the perk, and that's what we're seeing. And what I'm surprised is that the third parties that even did agree to this.
Yeah. Oh no, it's a great thing, and it should be across the board. And I'm glad Microsoft put down that gauntlet. I'm just saying I don't like people acting like this is brand new and Microsoft revolutionizing shit when this is even Microsoft is doing it right now.
I think the reason why it's being seen that way is because these
motherfuckers got short memories.
It's because they're putting the publisher's foot to the fire now. They're like, hey, do it. See if you can do it. And how many are going to do it? We're seeing it. We'll see. We'll see if it phases out in a year, then yeah. But if not, look at crossplay. Remember, you guys were like, not going to happen. And then we got, Call of Duty and everybody fucking doing it. So things get pushed in that direction, and it's up to the publishers to see if it's worth doing.
I don't think it's putting anybody's feet to the fire, because instantly, just like with EA, they'll push back. I'm thinking they're giving them an option with some sort of perk behind it, and that's it.
I think whatever Microsoft is giving
them, otherwise every single one of those games on that thing would have been that way.
Yeah,
there has to be. Well, that's the thing. It's going to be one of those, because let's say, we'll see what happens with PS4. We'll see what happens with PS4. And if they're able, I don't know what you're saying about that. It has to have something.
They gotta have something.
But I don't think that's the case here. Now it's more like we'll find out when the PS5 gets announced, and these same games, they're all going over there. If they say, hey, same thing, PS4, PS5, you get it on the floor.
Yeah. No, I do agree with you about putting developers' feet to the fire, or specifically in this case, publishers. Sony, they can't get away with that bullshit. They cannot get away with going, you got to buy a PS4 version and a PS5. You can't get away with that shit, especially since both their systems run on x86. You cannot get away with that shit now. And I'm me, I don't advocate shit. I'll advocate it. If they do that shit, if Sony does that shit, yell at them. Let them know that shit is not cool. Because
that would really suck, something like this.
It'd be fucking bullshit,
Yeah. Especially like this. Like, let's say The Last of Us, right? It's coming out within a month or two, and then it's closer to a few months away. We got the PS5. They should announce when this does come out. Hey, you're going to get that same upgrade and all the stuff. It's going to look even better.
Yeah, what they need. Yeah, you're right. What they need to do is be like, yo, listen, Last of Us 2, you bought the game on PS4, pop it into your PS5. We got special upgrades for it. Bam, that's what they need to do. At no and announce it and no additional charge. Got to say that, you know. That'd be fucking bullshit. I just wanted to clear it there on that. I was like, yo, that shit is not a new concept. It's just more refined now, obviously.
They put a sticker on it.
Yes,
literally.
They renamed it, you know.
They renamed it and put a sticker on it. It's like putting just dropping down a flag, and then, it's a lot easier than saying play anywhere.
Yeah. No, I agree. But yeah. But, going back to what you guys were saying, yeah. I'm not going to say I'm disappointed in these games in particular because they're doing whatever they're going to do. But it's like, yo, my fear was actually, no, I'm going to go back. Since the PlayStation 2 era, I've always kept saying that's it. We've peaked graphically, and I've been proven wrong consistently, and I'm happy I've been proven wrong. Now I'm like, oh shit, I think I might be right, and I don't want to be right because I don't want to be right, bro. You know?
You're gonna be wrong. Because it's gonna improve in ways that you just can't see. Like right off the bat, that's something like
no.
He can see it already.
No, but here's the thing: it's like again, and I am playing like the best versions of games right now, and I'm like, by the way, Carlos, the reason I'm saying this is because I'm looking at the beginning of this gen and the way things are now at the end of it. Not that big of a difference, man.
Oh man, man, Red Dead Redemption 2. That
game looks better, you know.
That's on Game Pass as of today.
It's not even close.
No, but maybe again, I think I'm being too fucking cynical because I'm thinking about Assassin's Creed Black Flag, right? That was the beginning of the gen. Obviously, Red Dead looks fucking better than it, right? But at the same time, it's not that different either. You know what I mean? Like even gameplay wise, I know it's a whole different thing, but. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, basically, remember when PS3 first started at the end of PS3? It's like, what the fuck? How are you doing that? You know, like with PS4, the beginning generation to the end of it, it's like, okay, I see some upgrades, but it's not insane. You know?
Well, think about it like this: The Last of Us 1 was an end of the generation game for PS3.
Yes.
So it's kind of in the same category as a lot of the launch titles as the games that are going to come out for this new gen.
Yeah.
That game doesn't look near as like you can compare that to The Last of Us Part 2. It's going to be night and day.
You think so? Even The Last of Us 2 is not looking like that much better than the first game.
On that, is that gameplay?
Yeah, no, that shit looked dope. Don't get me wrong, but it still didn't look like light years better or anything like that. You know,
it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be light years. It's just. It's gonna be because nothing's gonna compare to the transition to HD. It's just not like that's.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that because I'm thinking like, yo, is that it? Was that the last big leap we've seen in gaming? Now it's just gonna be kind of marginal leaps and shit. Because am I being foolish for wanting that? Even though I know that's not going to happen anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember when you saw Gears of War for the first time? You're like, what the fuck is that shit? We're never going to get that moment again, man. And that's fucking sad. Think about that, you know? Like, again, even Red Dead 2 looks fucking amazing compared to Black Flag. But even that jump, it's not like, oh my fucking God, what the hell is this shit? How did they do that? I'm not getting that feeling from it, you know?
Also, I think another part of that is I think developers play it too safe.
Oh yeah, man.
Call of Duty is gonna look like Call of Duty for the most part. Like when that comes out, it's not like Call of Duty 4 as compared to Call of Duty 3. It's like, oh shit, it's crazy. You
know what it is, man? You know how you started saying this generation sucked like a couple months into it?
Yeah.
I'm afraid I'm going to be you, but worse. I'm already saying that shit. The generation hasn't started yet, you know?
Oh, man, Carlos. Excuse me.
Oh, man. But yeah, I think, but all of us, we kind of agreed. It's like, not really that impressed with what's coming next gen, man.
No, it's a showing, but it's not really a showing that we sort of, that it says like, that to sort of write home about.
Yeah,
we got a lot of interesting looking titles, but not enough to kind of jump the needle a little.
Yeah, and you know what, man? You know what it feels like to me? It feels like the beginning of this generation when we saw the next gen games. We were like, really? That's it? That's,
I mean,
that's what we're getting.
I do feel like no. I mean, I think there was a little bit more impression in this generation. You know, like where when they started showing some of the new Halo stuff, and they started showing the new PlayStation stuff. Like, one of the games at the time that they were saying were one of the better looking games was Killzone Shadowfall.
Yeah, Killzone Shadowfall was a good looking game. That is true, but I think because
that was one of the ones that Sony sort of showcased to be like, okay, this is what the next generation is going to look like.
Yeah, I was just thinking about this right now. Like, on the one hand, I'm like, these games didn't look that great or whatever, that impressive. But at the same time, I am glad, for the most part, they're not doing, that I know of at least, they're not doing a rope-a-dope. I'm just gonna say they're not pulling a Watch Dogs on us right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's doctor some shit up, make it look crazy. I think they're being wary of that now.
Yeah, well, obviously, they want to put their best foot forward, but I'm sure they're not trying to throw it so far over where it essentially gives you a false impression of what it's going to all look like. You still look at that footage from the original Watch Dogs, and you're like, man, we did not get that game at all.
Shit, that is a fact.
Go ahead. And then when those guys hacked into the game and literally turned all the shit that was on during the trailer, and they're like, why isn't the game like this?
Yo, Emilio.
Word.
We didn't even get that for Watch Dogs 2.
No. Well, what about Watch Dogs 3?
Oh, that game ain't coming.
What happened to that? What happened to the grandma?
Yeah, by the way, Sketch said it. Vincent, you did. He goes, you didn't get that in Watch Dogs 2. Hey, Watch Dogs 2 was a good game, though, man. Respect for that game.
Did he get it? You said he got it from you? Or...
No, he said, no, you guys said it at the same time. Oh, you didn't get that in Watch Dogs 2. He said it at the same time you did. That's funny, man.
Shit, man. Great minds think alike.
That's it, man. Latinos, man. All right. Any last thoughts on Inside Xbox?
I can't wait to see the showcase of the 15 studios that they have.
Yeah, right. I believe that's July, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what they have in development internally.
Yeah.
It's official. Our conversation about Inside Xbox has lasted longer than the actual Inside Xbox.
Damn. Yeah, that shit was short.
It was an hour long.
No, it wasn't. It was half an hour. It was half an hour.
No, there was a 30 and then it was 30 minutes of talking to all the developers.
Nobody watched that shit.
Well, that's when the guy was talking all this stuff about the
nobody watched that shit.
When you play a Viking, you really get to pillage, and you're supposed to pillage.
Nobody watched that shit.
I thought it was cool. I thought the whole thing was short, sweet. I didn't expect it to be like, oh, this is how cool next gen will be. It just seemed like, hey, here's some games that are coming out next gen. So hence, I wasn't disappointed.
And the other thing about it, why would you expect a third-party game to essentially wow you? It's usually the first-party ones that do it.
Yeah,
definitely.
Oh, this is Rockstar.
Yeah.
Then Rockstar just like, hey, let's just blow out the window and have horse testicles.
Whoa!
Right.
What's up, Carlos?
If they did, if the Inside Xbox never showed up, if they omitted that one, what's the fucking Astral Chain looking game, would you still be equally as satisfied with it the way you are right now?
Like, I didn't expect much from it. I didn't expect to be blown away. I didn't expect any megatons. I didn't expect to see anything that will graphically just blow up. I just expected they're going to show some games. They're going to be slightly different, slightly the same. I see it more as a, hey, here are some of the games you'll be playing next year or next year type thing. So hence, it was just that. It's like, hey, here are some games that you can play soon. So that's what I expected. That's what I got. Hence, I can't really be mad.
All right,
low expectations. Hence, they were satisfied. So,
and that's why my wife hasn't left me, because she already set the bar. She already set the bar. So.
Man.
Oh man. All right. Anybody else? Last thoughts? Inside Xbox.
Gotta love that sticker.
Oh man! All right.
Be on all the
Damn, why you hate Microsoft so much? I don't get
No,
it.
I just said I gotta love the sticker. Come on, man. Is that me
He
hating?
said love.
Yeah.
I said gotta like that sticker.
Yeah,
come on,
man. Come on, son. He said
so
love.
much for you. So much for you. And then
I mean, you're so cynical, man. You think I'm always
should
talking.
because you get upset by these things. You should be happy for all of this. This is all good stuff for everybody.
I'm not saying I did. You're just like putting words in my mouth, man. I just said gotta love that sticker.
Only 4 words in your mouth. That's all. Not a lie. I'm trying to feel like.
Yo, stop putting stuff in his mouth, man. What the fuck's wrong with you?
God damn.
Yeah. For God's sakes, we're cousins. Goddamn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I know that's a lot in some countries, but we're in America, you know.
I wish I had some fireballs. Remember fireballs?
Watch with them balls, man. Chill out. All right. So the next thing we're gonna talk about is sticking to the Xbox 2020. So this is kind of cool, and this is another instance like, yo, Sony, where you at, bruh? So every month, starting with this month, they're going to have some kind of showing until the console comes out. Pretty cool shit. You know, and one of those things that we talked about before is the July show where they're going to be showing off Halo and all that other shit, you know?
Okay.
So it says right here, starting May 7th, that's the first one. We got that. That's also part of the Xbox 2020 deal, you know? And subsequent ones will show off the first parties and some other shit, you know? Again, you know, the reason I throw this in is like, yo, like, wouldn't it be nice if Sony was doing that? Yeah, I'm going to say this is a quick aside, if you guys will indulge me. So basically, last weekend, it was this weekend you just followed, right? I had to mute my, some tweets of mine on Twitter because I pissed off the Xbox guys when I said that, hey, if you like Streets of Rage on Game Pass, please consider buying the game and support the developers more. They took it as me shitting on Game Pass. So Xbox came after me, trying to go after my job. You know how that goes, you know. Thankfully, my job is like, don't ignore those motherfuckers, you know. And then the beginning of this week, I pissed off.
Why would they come after you? I mean,
because they were saying that I was talking shit on Xbox, even though I wasn't. I was literally saying, hey, are you playing Streets of Rage on Game Pass? Do you like it? Consider buying it. That's all I said. You know,
but even Game Pass says that at the bottom, you get a 20% off discount if you buy it.
But you know how it is, man. People motherfuckers out here. So I pissed off the Xbox, and then this week I pissed off the ponies after I said that I wish Sony would communicate as good as Microsoft. So I got called an Xbot, all this shit, and I realized, like, yo, hold on. If I'm pissing off the ponies and the Xbox, I must be doing something right. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's crazy right now. But
kind of like a heel wrestler, you know. You just like you make everybody mad. That means you're successful.
Yeah. I'm just keeping it real, son. You know,
who's brown?
And here's the thing, because again, selective reading, right? I literally said, you guys know I fuck with Sony hardcore. That's my company. But I wish these motherfuckers would do as good as Xbox. They took out the whole part of me liking Sony. They took that part out. It's just, I wish Sony was as good as Xbox. That's what they heard.
Do that always. That's it.
You know,
yeah, they skim to the end, man. That's the way they teach you to read.
That's how they do it with politicians. They do it everywhere.
Yo, you're right. That's some true shit right there.
They just cut nitpicks and be like, oh, he said he likes this. He likes dead rabbits and he eats blue cheese on a hot summer day. What the fuck are you talking about?
I was gonna make a joke. I can't do it anymore. God damn it! I hate this new age that we live in. But yeah, fuck the ponies. Fuck the Xbox. I said it. All right. Next up. Okay. I'm speaking about pissing off ponies. We're about to do that tonight.
What's going on, bro?
We gotta talk about We gotta talk about The Last of Us 2, man.
What they do now?
Got canceled. Pushed back.
All right. So the two pieces of news before we give our opinions. First one is that the game has officially gone gold. Gone gold, right? And along with that, they get a new story trailer, right? Let's talk about the trailer first, then we'll talk about the whole gold thing. What's up, Brett?
Did it already go gold? Didn't they say it was ready to ship?
Now it is. It's gone gold now.
They said the game was ready to go.
They said the game was finished. That's what they said.
Finished, but they didn't say it was going gold. So in other words, they're printing discs now.
Semantics.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Okay, don't worry. Chris, I got a series of questions for you, man.
Yes.
But we'll get to those in a bit. All right. So let's talk about the trailer. It showed a new story trailer, which didn't really have a lot of story in it. To be honest, you saw Ellie killing some motherfuckers. Joel was in there talking some shit, and a bunch of quick cuts, blood, zombies. I'm gonna be honest, man. Okay, before I get to my opinion, at least on my timeline, motherfuckers lost their shit. Oh my god, this trailer is amazing. Game of the year, game of the generation. This is Sony's gonna hit us again with this fucking experience. I saw that fucking trailer. I'm like, man, I wasn't impressed, bro. I'm keeping it real. That shit, like, like going graphically, obviously look nice, but it's like, it's just more of the same fucking shit. More Last of Us. More of this bleak fucking world. You stabbing zombies and killing people. Like, whatever, man. You know?
It seems very brutal. Like, I was looking at it and I'm like, wow, this is like brutal, you know? Like Gears of War type, just brutal. Like this, I don't know. It didn't seem overly brutal. It just seemed slightly excessive. It's like, there's a point where it's like, okay, the world is brutal. We understand that. But then, to me, it just seems like some parts were just brutal for the sake of just like trying to shock you. It's like, oh, look how shocking the world is. It's like, you've already established that the world is falling to shit. So just seeing this is kind of like, it's not surprising. It's just kind of like, oh gosh, everything's just terrible now. It's like, I don't know. It just seems a little bit excessive, you know.
Yeah, I'm just to jump on that real quick, Brian. I'm usually the guy that loves an excessive amount of gore and violence. I love that shit. I'm watching this. I didn't get squeamish, obviously, but I was just like, it felt like they were, you know what it was? It felt like they were trying too hard, right? This is the reason I had to stop watching South Park. I'm like, you guys are trying too fucking hard with these dumbass jokes now, you know? Like, and I get the same feeling when I watch this. I'm like, okay, you guys are just trying a little too hard right now to be edgy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it doesn't make sense. Like, I understand that people are terrible animals and that society is a very thin veneer over top, you know, brutality and violence and all that shit, but Jesus fucking Christ, the way that The Last of Us paints the human experience is like nothing but despair.
Yeah.
And it's slowly getting to this point where I'm like, dude, even post-apocalypse zombie world would not be this brutal and mean. Like, people do have some good in them. It's not all self-serving, weird, you know, there are people that are just helping themselves and psychopaths. There's more to the world than that. It's getting, it's just gotten too much. It's breached a layer of believability to me where I'm like, okay, I get it, but this is like in no way representative of reality. It's now this, you know, overhyped fictional world the same way superheroes are.
I actually felt quite like that watching this. I mean, even watching this one and maybe a little bit of the last, the gameplay one, because it just felt like it was just like, hey, look, we can disembowel people and stuff like that. I know. I mean, I understand. Again, I agree with the sentiments of everybody else. Like you said, yeah, it is a violent world that they come from, but I almost feel like even Joel never really murdered people that badly. You know, like it's, I don't know.
Joel had a reason too.
Yeah, they would survive.
Well, it wasn't survival too. It was paternal instinct. Like, Ellie was okay. So there's people who fight for survival, and then there's people who fight for things that they think are more important than living and dying. Like, there are people who believe in that, and Joel's Papa Bear claws were basically like, I've seen people be perfectly reasonable until you fuck with somebody that they love, and then they flip their shit.
But what Joel's murder was very simple and to the point, where it's like he stabbed you in the neck and then you're dead, right? But
he solved the problem.
It seems like that, and maybe that's a character trait that you said you sort of saw in Ellie, that she wants to essentially make every single one of these guys pay for what they did to her. So she's going to excessively, essentially not just stab the guy in the neck just to get rid of him, but to totally lop off his head to satisfy something within her.
Yeah, here's the problem that I have with that. Like, I'm all about fighting back, I know I'm going down the rabbit hole with this, but like thematically, when you cross that line of brutality, like, I don't know that you're an innocent anymore. Like, I'm trying to think of how to explain it. I don't think motherfuckers.
I don't think at that point she's at the point.
Don't talk bad about Rambo.
I don't think the point that she's in Well, the point that she's in at that point where she's, essentially, killing everybody. I don't think she's innocent anymore, and I think
Yeah.
that's part. I think that's part of where the story is sort of going. It's sort of a loss of her, full loss of her innocence as this, character.
Yeah, but it feels like she's like. Doesn't that mean that she's like not better than the other people? Which essentially isn't.
Well,
doesn't that mean like it's a slow descent into being evil?
That's it. And remember, that's what people used to say about Joel. Joel's evil. Some people were saying because of what he's done. Now, is there, and officially she's sort of doing this from the trailers. She's doing this for vengeance. So now that makes her no better than those guys that are trying to kill them. Those greedy assholes who don't give a shit. And remember, she was sort of somewhat the voice of sense in the previous game, right? Where Joel was like, essentially killing people, and she's like, wait, I don't know about, stuff like that. So I don't know.
It's a perfectly fine story. I'm starting to not like, and granted, I'm biased. I'm very skeptical of this game, but it's because of things like, man, I don't need an overwhelming sense of despair. I don't need a story that's starting to sound an awful lot like the moral falling of innocence.
That's precisely the reason why after the first one, I don't want to go back to that world, because it just seems so bleak and so horrible, and there is no hope. Even our characters, even our characters can never. They're always going to have their sandcastle kicked over, and I feel like. But then again, I guess that's the world that they live in. It's always, you can never sit. So what's the point?
It's the story of like, die a hero or live long enough to become
a villain.
Yeah, like I feel like that may be the road that we're taking Ellie down. Like, and I don't know. I like that kind of idea. I like that kind of theme in certain people. Like I would take it better from Joel than I would from Ellie for some reason. And I think that's probably because Ellie had so much further to fall, and her motivation is vengeance, not protecting. Like it's even Joel's motivation was semi-pure in the sense that he was just trying to protect something that he loved. It's understandable. Like a murderous vengeance rampage, I don't know. And the weird thing to me is like that seems to be the part that everybody is so thrilled about. That it's pretty much Manhunt.
It's starting. This very much starting to look like Manhunt. I mean, you could also say it's.
Manhunt was a good game, though.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Then again, like, how is it that we excuse the essentially reveling in murder of Manhunt, and the difference in on the opposite side, Ellie doing pretty much the same thing. Is it because
say it, man? Say it.
Is it because the Manhunt guy's a dude and Ellie's a woman?
He's an ex-con. He's a killer. He was already a killer.
I don't know.
She was a kid. She didn't deserve to do this shit.
I can't be happy. Okay, tin hat foil time.
Go
ahead. Oh, everybody's stealing my hat. I got to pass it over.
Tin foil hat, by the way.
I'm just borrowing it for a minute. Yeah, tin foil hat. Just borrowing it for a minute, Chris. Do you think that? I mean, it's no secret that in the trailers she's dancing and kissing a girl. Do you think that her progressive sexuality is used to insulate her motives and being terrible? Do you think that's kind of a red herring to pull you away from the fact that, well, Ellie is a terrible person, but she's an icon for LGBT? Like, is that just a way to be like, over here?
I'm not answering this fucking question.
I don't think so. I think it depends on the story, where the story progresses. If her lover gets killed, then it becomes just a typical love story. It's like, oh, I'm hunting down the people that killed my lover.
How is it that Kratos is allowed to do essentially rip out the guts of some other another person or a monster, and we're perfectly fine with that, and Ellie is not? And see, they're both on the same sort of quest. They're both on a murder.
Because Kratos is ripping off the guts of a centaur or something, not another regular person.
But he's also done it to people too. He's essentially chopped people in half.
Then Kratos is an asshole. Like, we all know this. Like,
Kratos, yes, we know.
I know what your question is. Like, why do we accept that from Kratos, but not Ellie?
Kratos he's a Spartan soldier. He's murdered tons of people, so we're not surprised at any of him doing any of that.
Like,
he was never
doing that. Is just his nature. Like, him being nice is surprising. Like, oh wow, Kratos being nice. Like, what the hell? Like,
hold on here. What's the question we're asking here? Because like I haven't seen, maybe in this room some of you guys are, but I haven't seen like the larger media or even gamers getting mad that Ellie's doing this shit.
No, in fact it's the total opposite. It's actually the reverse.
Yeah.
The larger games media was very appalled by all the murder and in those first few trailers.
Yeah, yeah.
And the game community was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? This is awesome."
Oh, okay, I got you. So you're asking why is it that the games media was so offended over Ellie's actions, but not Kratos? Something like along those lines, right?
No, just in society. Like, why does society accept Kratos? And the elephant in the room is it because she's a girl? Is it because we believe that men are predisposed to a bunch of murder, and seeing a little girl do it is just something we can't comprehend? I don't think so. I think that is the most obvious looking answer. But what I really think is it's surprising because it's a fall of innocence to see. I mean, the last game she was a little girl. She did what she had to, but for the most part she was being protected. And now she is vengefully murdering people. It's seen her go from pure innocence to pretty much the other end of the spectrum. Like, she's kind of an antagonist. She's kind of a bad guy. And she seems to be slipping further and further into that role the more that we kind of see from the game. Like, the game is just Ellie fucking... And you can piece 2 and 2 together. I don't know this for sure, but I'm 90% sure that it's about Ellie's lesbian lover getting killed and her just murdering everybody who's even nearly associated with that, which I do. But
I hope not. It's too obvious then if that's the story.
Dude, it's looking through. But here's the thing, like, even John Wick, like movies like John Wick, like murder porn movies, where they just go around and kill. It's 90 minutes of nothing but murder. They kill the people that are getting in their way. They don't hunt down the friends of the people that are getting in their way and shiv them viciously in the neck. I feel like that may be why we feel like we're crossing a line, because not only did she fall, but she fell further than we see most big movie action stars. Like, her brutality trumps anything you're going to see in, like, fucking Predator.
Yeah. By the way, just a quick aside, just because there seems to be a little bit of consensus here, I personally, Tony Polanco, do not mind the violence and all that shit. I'm just saying it just seems like they're trying too hard, but I don't mind it. Like, I'm pretty sure when I play a game, I will relish stabbing a motherfucker in the neck. That'll be cool. I don't mind over the top violence and shit. That's all perfectly fine. I just think, okay, it's two things. Not only does it feel a little bit like they're trying hard, my real main beef is like, oh, we fucking seen this shit already. I'm watching this trailer. I'm like, what season of The Walking Dead is this? I'm like, that's my real main beef. Like, again, because I just want to clear it up here. Like, people, oh, Tony, you turning into a pussy or something? No, bro, I love me some violence. My main beef is like, I've seen this shit before already. Like, we're doing this again, man.
I agree with you, but then again, maybe that's the gameplay loop.
Yeah. By the way, the questions you guys are asking are actually very good questions. I'm glad you're bringing up. I just want to kind of take up back something. That's not me. My main beef is this looks generic as fucking shit. That's my main beef. Go ahead, Manny. Right. Yeah. I just want to clear it up. Manny, you said the gameplay loop.
I agree with you, but maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's the gameplay loop. Maybe it's like sneak up on somebody, stab it. Maybe there's a clicker that shows up. Like, maybe that's all we're getting.
Yeah. No, I mean, you might write about it's possible I could play the game and, in my review it'll be like, hey, you know what? Even though this game's generic as fuck and the story is trite, I like stabbing a guy's balls with a shiv. It could be like that,
Dude, everybody does. Everybody does. And so, like, I want to take this point to point out that I don't have a problem with the violence or the game or Ellie or anything like that. I feel like, and those who know me know that I'm this way, I'm a story nitpicker, all right? I break apart stories. Thematically, this doesn't make sense to me unless it's one of those, tired, old, fall of innocence stories wrapped in a zombie world, which I'm hoping and expecting more than that. But from what I know now, and I'm speaking strictly from only the things I know now,
Alright,
Not
let's
even
settle down.
not leaks or anything.
Alright, man.
Just
Based off the trailers. Based off the trailers.
Yeah,
There you
based
go.
off the
There you
trailers.
go, brother. There you go.
Based off the trailers, this thing seems to be swinging in a way that I realize that they're trying to tell a story. I know Naughty Dog is very interested from interviews on telling a story that's different. I just don't know if that story is satisfying because it seems like they're pushing so hard to be different that they're going to end up giving you something. I mean, Catcher in the Rye is a different book. It's also a dumpster fire of bullshit.
I'm sorry. What is different about this, bro? It's a fucking zombie story. I'm watching this. I'm like, what season of Walking Dead is it? It looked like a Walking Dead fucking episode. You know?
Because, okay, the difference is character arcs.
Ooh, they have cordyceps. No, it's a zombie. Get out of here. Not that wasn't a directed at you, Brad. This is other motherfuckers. I always say, oh, they're not zombies, they're cordyceps. It's a zombie. Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, go ahead, bro.
Where did I leave off?
You were talking about stories and Catcher in the Rye and differences.
Character arcs.
I'm not sure if any read Catcher in the Rye. It's a shit book. I'm just gonna be straight honest. It's a shit book that just stops. It doesn't even fucking end. And everybody wants to, fucking cream their pants over the thing because it's different and it was taught when I was in high school. And it's controversial. No, it's badly written story about some fucking outcast who wished he was cooler. It's basically Californication light and it just fucking stops. I get the need to tell an interesting and new and fresh story, or maybe even tell a tired one that hits the audience harder. My big question is it going to be a satisfying one? You may make a huge statement with your story. Is it good? You may make great statements on the human condition and people's relationship and life and death in the game. But is it satisfying? Is it fun? And I know that doesn't seem to matter to people, but on the last one, it wasn't fun. It wasn't. And I feel like they're doubling down on that aspect. It was entertaining. It was interesting. But I wouldn't call it straight fun.
No, the game doesn't need to be fun. It's just to be engaging, entertaining. Last of Us is not a game that you play like ha ha with a big smile on your face. That's not the experience they're trying to give you.
You're the type of person just
yeah. Yo, if you're playing The Last of Us with a smile on your face, there's something wrong with you, boy.
Laughing like the Tim Drake Joker.
Yeah. But yeah, that again, that's my main thing. All right, it's another fucking zombie. If you guys remember that original podcast that Rachel and Brett and I did for the Last of Us, I said, hey, this was a good game despite the fact this is a zombie game. Now I don't know if I'm going to be able to stretch that because think about it. From that game till now, we had 8 seasons, or at least I've had 8 seasons of The Walking Dead where I just got tired of that fucking shit, and I was already tired of it 7 years ago, So it's like, oh, you're going to be more of that? Really? Oh, the cordyceps monsters are coming. Oh my God.
I mean, it's like where else? I mean, it's obvious, they're probably not going to go deeper into any more of that stuff because that's just the way it's probably going. It's really a story that's just going to be about Ellie and her journey. And we can see that from the trailers.
Yeah.
Not only that, but my deal passed away recently. So it's how can, George Romero, man, it's like, no one can do zombies like he can, so fuck that genre. It's dead to me.
Damn.
Even he couldn't do zombies like he could. That last.
Oh yeah.
Yo, hey, he got it right twice though. Oh, would you say the zombie genre is itself a zombie? It's just shambling along, lost life, but it's just keeping going and going, looking for brains to eat.
I'll tell you what I think happened with zombies is we focused on the wrong fucking part of them and lost the base of, we played a game of telephone with them, and zombie is supposed to be more than just dead walking things. Classically throughout history, you've had stories of the dead rising. It is the simplest go-to, most worn out. Oh no, the dead walk the streets, or the dead walk outside the town. The freshly buried corpse. It's the most low-hanging fucking fruit there is out there. The thing about zombies is they're supposed to be almost Resident Evil style, man. It's supposed to be damn near fucking indestructible. A slow, prodding force and a wall of impending doom that no matter what you do, it is slowly encroaching on you. And that's important because that triggers a part of our brain that has natural fear, right? The same reason dragons exist as an amalgamation of things in nature that we're afraid of, right? Humans are something called endurance hunters, meaning we wound an animal and then just slowly follow it until it dies of exhaustion. And the entire time it's running, because most animals can't pant and breathe very well. So we just walk after the animal that we fucking hunted and threw a spear into, and now it's bleeding, and now it's running, and now it's panting, and now it can't pant, or it's breathing heavy, it can't pant, so it overheats, collapses from exhaustion, and that's when the humans descend on it and butcher it. It is tying into a very terrifying idea that is, hardwired into us from, the early inception of man. It is a cool idea. It triggers neat things in the brain. But everybody's just cheapened it and turned it into like, hey, here's a horde of dead guys. Like, fucking really? Like, why is it I shoot a dead guy in the guts 15 times and he fucking goes down? Like, unless I'm severing the muscles in there, that's not the fucking point. Also, it has to be highly infectious. Like, I don't see any zombie game that you play that you actually have to worry about getting infected. You get bit a million times.
Like in the Resident Evil game, it's like, hey, look, if you get bitten by a zombie, you get infected. What about Jill, Chris, or any of those other guys?
Yeah, you want
to character problems.
Yeah, you want to talk about ludonarrative dissonance right there, bro. That's a perfect example. Think about it like this: Resident Evil 3, perfect example, right? You're with the, who the fuck was the guy who got bitten with you in the beginning?
What game?
Resident Evil 3.
What, Brad?
Oh, the pilot.
Yeah, Brad.
Okay. So you're going with Brad. Brad gets bitten and shit. Later on, he turns up a zombie. How many times doesn't Jill get bitten in this fucking game and nothing ever happens to her?
I got main character problems.
Yeah. So Brad, I feel you totally on that.
It's remember in the 90s it was Nazis. Like, it was just...
Oh, they're back. They're back, Brad. Nazis are back, man. You didn't hear?
I know. It's like, we need a horde of something to shoot. It's vaguely humanoid, and we're not going to feel bad about.
Isn't that like
the dead and Nazis are kind of your options.
I was just about to say, like, isn't that like a staple of fiction in general? It's like, hey, zombies and Nazis, go nuts.
Well,
and then you get something more...
And zombie Nazis? Oh, boy.
They're the ultimate evil that everybody pretty much hates.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, you need perfect... You need enemies that you don't feel bad about killing. Zombies and Nazis. There you go.
Yeah. Look, all I'm saying is, it's not the genre that's broken. It's the fucking writers that are. And it's because everybody saw The Walking Dead. They're like, oh, we're going to follow jump on the zombie bandwagon. Like, I get it. But we used to have some really good zombie movies. We used to have some really good zombie stories. And that shit's been ruined by the idea there's nothing but a horde of fucking dead people and bullet sponges. That's all it is. It's not scary as a bunch of walking bullet sponges.
And And the other component, Brett, is like, oh, okay, yes, I get it. People are bad. They're doing bad shit to each other when the world goes bad. What else you got? Yeah, but
it's always so exaggerated. Like, they make you think that every fifth person you're going to meet is a psychopath.
Yeah.
That's not true. There were times when there were lawless areas where, like, the Wild West, was bad. It was lawless, and it was nothing like, warlords and bandit tribes roaming the country, impaling people's heads on sticks.
I'm going to say this. It's kind of funny because the other day I was watching Neil deGrasse Tyson. He was interviewing a primatologist, right? And they brought up something. And this is coming from me. I'm a cynical motherfucker. Like, I always have this belief of, like, hey, if society breaks down, we're all just going to fucking eat each other, right? But the truth is, they're like, hey, listen, evolutionarily, we're made to be more cooperative than violent against each other because being cooperative keeps your species going, Like, think about this. If all of us were just crazy killers, we would have never evolved. We would have just killed all each other off, right? So even if society breaks down, just realistically speaking, I'm talking about full-on zombie fucking shit, right? Yes, there will be a breakdown of society, and there will be fucked up shit happening, but more people would actually get together and, to survive. This is how we used to in Savannah and shit. We had to form tribes and protect ourselves from all the evil shit that's going on out there. So, yeah, I agree with you that it is a hyper-exaggerated reality, but at the same time, I can't harp it for that because it's still a fake fictional world, so they're allowed to do shit like that. But you know what I'm saying, Brett? Like,
the zombies harder. That's the problem. It's like, oh, the zombies aren't hard enough. We have to have humans to up the difficulty. No, Megan's more than 5 bullets in the gut takes a zombie. Like, if you had 50 zombies, not even a giant horde, just 50 zombies, they're not moving fast. They have your scent. And they're not going to go down unless you have get a headshot. With like 500 bullets, you're still probably not going to have enough. to take these motherfuckers down. And now you have the gut-sinking realization that no matter where you go on the map, they're tracking you. They have your scent. So eventually, they will slowly come upon wherever you are. And so it becomes a game of outrunning this fucking horde because you get bit once, you're fucking. They could make the games difficult. They could make great survival games. I've played great survival games.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Question.
Why is it?
Why is The Last of Us 2 a zombie game?
Yes.
Yes.
Or is it just a zombie setting?
No,
It's a
it's a zombie game.
zombie
It has the
Survival game.
Yeah, no, dude, it's a stereotypical zombie game. What is it? It's a bleak post-apocalyptic world where humans are fucking each other over because there's a bunch of undead monsters everywhere. That's a standard zombie game, or standard zombie story.
You can literally, even without the silliness of what they call the zombies, like freakers or cordyceps, you can literally take Last of Us and Days Gone and stick them in the same universe.
Yeah, Carlos, like I said, when I was watching this trailer, I'm like, oh, it's The Walking Dead. It's a stereotypical zombie story that's been done a million times.
And that's the issue. And then that's the issue with like all of these. It's like they get like there's a tinge, or not even a tinge. There's a huge horror aspect to these zombie, like to the zombie genre. It's like you're scared of the zombies. You like they can creep by you. They make their and all that stuff, and they're dead and they're undead or whatever they are, and they're hard to kill, and you can't touch them because they'll infect you. But the genre is now like what they're doing, and I mean they've been doing this for a while now. Is it's just making it so a more human on human conflict.
Yeah,
and I'm like, why do you have to introduce human and human conflict, even just because that's what everyone does?
Yes.
And that's why I asked the question: why is this considered a zombie game? Because at the end of the day, what's the difference between this and Uncharted? Uncharted does the same thing and it doesn't have zombies.
The undead things trying to infect and kill you,
even when it's not, because you never do get infected by any of those.
Well, that's a game. That's a game over. No, but Carlos, I'm talking about story wise. It's a zombie story, a modern zombie story, I should say.
Definitely, I agree with that. But I'm just saying, just everything else about the game is, it can be. It's Uncharted. It's like, let's get back to.
I said. I've said this before. When the original game came out, I said this is a slow Uncharted game. That's all it is,
It's kind of. I'll be honest.
It's a slow, sluggish Uncharted game.
It's stupid. It's just
okay.
Damn. Pull out this old soapbox dust off. Okay. Anybody remember DayZ?
Yeah.
No, I never heard of it.
Mention it every week. I meant Tony stole a joke.
Okay, so there used to be like a running joke, and I was just thinking about this yesterday. Like that's how much an impression this game made on me. I just remembered the joke "shots in Cherno" and laughed my ass off to myself because that used to be a thing where there were guns that you should not use because they are very loud, and you could hear somebody fire a single shot from the next city. Like you just hear crack, and you're like, oh shit. And everybody would descend on that area, players and zombies. And when you were, sneaking through a big area, there wasn't a way that you could kill the zombies. And it wasn't like I need to be, a stealth mission. It wasn't like here's a box that you can hide under, blah, blah, blah. It was an open world, open the doors, go in this house, and there might be a fucking zombie standing behind you. And if there is, they're going to screech, and they're going to come fucking running at you. And you're going to desperately try and not get bitten. And most likely that's going to involve you freaking out, swinging the axe a couple of times, running, pulling out a pistol, and firing a shot, and then realizing with sudden horror that shot just echoed through the city, and 5 blocks of zombies are now swarming on this location. So you fire one shot, and you're like, oh shit, that was a mistake. I have to go now. Fucking kick down the back door, just start bolting as everything in the city turns and fucking rushes you, and you just pray that you get to the tree line in time to break the line of sight, that you can zigzag and dive under a bush so that they'll come charging past you. The problem with that is there's no winning. There's no set, this is how you stealth, this is the next place you go. Oh, we left you a convenient place right here. There was a very low chance of winning. And if you fought, it was next to none. And even if you did fight and win against the zombies, congratulations, all the players know where you were. So it was these environmental factors that put pressure on you, not being in a fucking hallway with 3 clearly built stealth points and a clicker that can hear you. Like, it's just, that reduces it to a mini game, and it doesn't involve it in the game. I'm still waiting for people to make these games that react to the choices you make, not in the sense of like, oh, well, now this building is blue, or you got the green ending, but in the sense of like, okay, so environmentally, you just fucking caused a lot of noise, or you just caused a landslide. That helped kill all the people that you were running from, but it also blocked your path, or you made a bunch of noise, and raiders are probably going to hear that. Things that make common sense. Like, there are ways to... And when that shit happened in DayZ, it was one of those, like, heart beating in your throat, palms sweating so much that you almost can't grip the mouse. The only other time I've ever felt like that is Dark Souls. When you like fucking finish and your fucking arms are everywhere rubber and you're like, I am a living god! Like that, and I give a lot of respect to any game that can make me feel that intense. Like, holy shit, I need to take a smoke and fucking sweat my dick off over here. It's great. I'm waiting to be that grabbed by anything else. And every once in a while, like I'm like a fucking Ronan. Dyslexia.
Shout out.
I just search for something that gives me a challenge, and when I find something that clearly kicks my ass, I start getting a little excited. I'm like, ooh, challenge. So I guess to summarize, zombie games can be scary and fun. You just need to stop doing what everybody else did. Take it back to its roots.
Can I say something super random?
Yes.
Rando.
Why don't they just make? Why don't they make like a? It's just super fucking random. I wish they made a fucking Pinocchio game where you have to kill Geppetto.
Yeah, that is random.
Yeah, where did that come from?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Where did that come from?
Well, it's because I was thinking, it's like, okay, I was thinking, so there's a zombie genre, and then what about Frankenstein? What kind of genre is Frankenstein? And then I'm like, what's similar? Yeah, and I'm like, what's similar to Frankenstein? Oh, fucking Pinocchio. It's like, oh, they should do a fucking game where you kill fucking Geppetto.
Well, I mean, the Frankenstein game would probably be like Resident Evil 2, the new Resident Evil 2, where the fucking monster's just constantly chasing after you.
But I guess the moral of the story is you're Frankenstein, because technically, or Frankenstein's monster. Because you're the.
It's not. It becomes less. It becomes less scary when you have when you're essentially the monster chasing after everybody else.
You gotta look at the mirror. So,
but fire bad.
Yeah.
I mean, Frankenstein is a big bad.
Huh?
Frankenstein is the bad guy, and the scary thing about him is that he's pretty smart. And
officially, he's not the bad guy.
I thought he was.
The monster's the bad guy.
Well, the monster is Frankenstein's creation,
and neither is
no. Frankenstein's the monster. Adam was what he created.
Wait, what happened with that?
That's the cool. No. Frankenstein is the scientist, but he's the true monster.
Yeah.
Adam's the creation.
Yeah.
Adam's what people think Frankenstein is, but it's not.
Yeah, well,
So you're with me, Brian, right?
People.
You play Frankenstein's monster and you dodge you sneaking mission around the townspeople?
Dude, that would actually be pretty cool. Like the idea of trying to get out against mobs of angry townspeople with torches.
Exactly. And then the final boss is Frankenstein. He's
but then you punch him once and he dies because that's all that happens.
He's like Dr. Robotnik. He's gonna have a whole bunch of things that's gonna.
Now he's got all this crazy technology.
Yeah, man.
Did you ever read
He pops out drones and shit.
All right, man. Let's move on. We got some more shit to talk about. All right, next up, cyber. Oh, let's lighten the mood here. By the way,
hold on a second. I thought there was.
Oh shit, Chris! I forgot.
You teased this in our group chat, and you teased this during the show.
I'm sorry. This conversation went on so fucking long. I completely forgot the beef I have with this fucking game. All right, I need to break some shit down, Chris. I just bear with me because I got to throw some shit at you, man.
Sure.
And I'm glad I wrote this shit down because I'm confused. All right, let me bring this up. Damn, man, you guys got me distracted. Talking about fucking Frankenstein and shit. I got fucking distracted. Brett, and I want you to listen too because you're about to get mad.
Oh, right. Jesus.
So I'm trying to wrap my head around this. Okay, so The Last of Us was supposed to come out May 29th, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Okay, so far, May 20th was supposed to come out. It got delayed indefinitely because of the coronavirus. Now it's coming out June 19th, 3 weeks after it was supposed to come out on May 29th, right? So we got that little bit, that already right there. We talked about this on the show. We're like, that's weird. Like, okay, so you had delayed it indefinitely, and then and now it's only 3 weeks later. Kind of weird. The game went gold this week, a month and a half before the new launch date. And remember, the whole reason they delayed it, like I said before, the whole reason they delayed the game is because they want to make sure all their shipping retailers get the game at the same time. They don't want anybody left behind. Now, this week, they said some retailers will not get the game at launch. What the fuck is going on? When am I supposed to make it this? And before you answer, I just want people to understand, Chris has worked at Nintendo and at Rockstar, so he knows some shit about game shipping and delays and all this other shit.
He wasn't here to hear my theory. I want to hear if he says the same thing.
Yeah, but Brett, you see what I'm saying? You look at all these pieces, and I'm like, wait, hold on.
You remember my theory, and it perfectly lines up with my theory.
Oh, Brett, here's the thing. I remember your theory, but now I'm adding in the game going gold this week, a month. And remember,
no spoilers, Chris. I want to hear from Chris, and then you and I can.
Yeah,
I don't want to spoil. I want to hear what he says, just fresh.
Yeah, but quick caveat. Remember, the games went gold a month and a half before release. We've seen games go as gold as a week before launch. So I'm like, okay, the game was supposed to come out in May 29th. It's already gold. They could ship it out on May 29th. What the fuck's going on? Anyway, Chris, go. The stage is yours, sir.
Yeah, well, I did I did a little research to see what the trend was for games, past games going gold for Naughty Dog, and from the time it went gold to the time it released, and so in none of those times did they ever have a problem fulfilling retailers' orders, right? So that's off the table. This is a unique situation. So, like you said, the game went gold. Neil Druckmann put out that video on May 4th, and the game is now supposed to release on June 19th. So that's 46 days. I don't know how in 46 days you can't fulfill those orders. So that doesn't make any sense. So I looked back. I went back to Uncharted 4. Like, all right, when was that announced? So it was announced it was going gold on March 18th of 2016, and the game released on May 10th. So that's 53 days. It's only a little more than the Last of Us window you have now. But I went back further. I was like, all right, look at Last of Us 1. Went gold on May 15th, 2013, and it launched June 14th, 2013. So it was only 30 days. And no problems, right? And that's near the end of PS3, so you have a huge amount of volume. And so I was like, all right, that's interesting. So is there a fabrication issue because of coronavirus, or is there some reason there's a slowdown? So then I was like, all right, let me look at a game that did launch while all this lockdown stuff is happening. So I looked at Final Fantasy VII Remake. Announced it went gold on March 2nd, release April 10th, at 39 days. Right? Less time than Last of Us has. No problems fulfilling orders. No problems with retail. No shortages reported. So this doesn't make any sense, unless someone's not being honest. There's no reason why in 46 days, even though they were supposed to launch in May, they pushed it to June 19th now. They're 46 days since he said the game went gold already on May 4th. And so they should be able to fab enough. I mean, there's fabs in Mexico. There's fabs all over the world, right? So this is not like, the factories here are shut down. Well, they don't. Most of the Blu-rays aren't pressed here anyway. They're pressed in Mexico. They're pressed in like Vietnam. They're pressed all over. So there shouldn't be a problem really fulfilling all these orders. So I really don't know what to make of this.
Yeah, the reason I brought all this information to you, because I'm like, okay, I don't know what to make of this shit. and I'm pretty sure Chris doesn't either, because no, I don't think anybody else can. Let's just be honest here. But I just wanted to be 100% sure about that. So if you're out there and you're asking yourself, "Hey, this doesn't make any sense," that's because it fucking doesn't. Am I safe to say that, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we are experiencing postal issues, but I mean, granted, usually these things aren't shipped through postage, right?
No.
Usually, usually the delivery is sent, is from whatever place that they're delivering from whatever place.
Yeah,
directly.
these are not normal carriers and stuff. Like
Yeah.
with Nintendo, we get everything gets sent to North Bend. So every cartridge, every disc press gets sent there, and Nintendo ships them out to retailers. So fleets of trucks and ship them out everywhere. So they're delivering it. Sony would hire a fleet. Microsoft can hire fleets or publishers or whatever. They ship their stuff themselves. They get carriers. There's all sorts of trucking fleets that you can hire, CR England or whatever, and pack the trucks and send them out to Target and Walmart and GameStop and whatever. So that's not an issue. It's not an issue of UPS or FedEx or the U.S. Postal Service. Those they're not even in that picture.
Yeah,
right, for volume
and also like you said, Manny, I know you were saying like, oh, because of the circumstances, obviously it is delaying shipments, but Final Fantasy VII came out right in the middle of this shit, no problems.
Well,
You got a Japanese game, 39 days. 39 days went gold, no problem.
The thing is, didn't they say that the physical editions were going to come later?
No, the physical editions came out. They came out. They came out. Remember, that game came out at the beginning of April. That was when we were at the peak of this shit in America, right? They shipped that game out, no problem. No report, like Chris said, no reports of shortages or anything.
Well, here's the thing, like, and I realize that we can, you can pin their ass to the wall with any number of what other companies have done, and I agree and I appreciate that approach. But the one thing I want to point out is, even in isolation from any other information, you can tell from the information that they've given you that somebody's being untruthful.
Well, yeah, and I think either Druckmann is lying, right, and the game is not ready to go gold, or there's someone, or there could be other issues with it, or he's stalling for time with the release date. I don't know. It could be because of the leaks and whatever, and maybe they're trying to doctor what they have. I'll just throw that out there.
Yeah.
I like how they're like, the leaks were from a third party who hacked into our system. I was like, you guys have that bad of security and everything. All of your assets.
It just makes things even worse for them, right?
Well, here's the thing. I didn't buy that narrative when Jason Schreier said it, and then somebody tried to describe it, and then I bought it even less.
Yeah.
It was the most asinine thing I ever heard of. So if any, Carlos and Brian, if you've worked with Amazon Web Services, have you ever used S3 buckets to store data?
Nope.
All right. I mean, it's pretty secure, but when you put stuff there, you usually put production stuff there. I've built sites and put them in there, and use CloudFront to put them out and whatever. But if you're a software developer, right? You're not going to develop anything directly on an S3 bucket. You're going to develop it locally on machines and and roll your own Git servers and whatever for version control in-house. You are not going to have that shit. Even if you use GitHub or whatever, you're going to use those sites and you're going to secure it. You're going to have encryption keys and whatever. You're not going to put that out in S3 bucket. Schreier's source said that they posted both their public and private key for S3 and had all the game code loaded in S3, including patches. That doesn't make sense to me. Why would you do that? And why would you have... And they said they broke the bucket for Last of Us 1. Okay, so even if that was the case, why is Last of Us 2 code and video and media in there? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, sorry, Brett.
You said you want to hear my theory?
Yeah.
I think they had reached the end of the game and decided that they didn't like something about it. Something in the story, something in the acting. They looked at it, and it's basically when a movie's about to re-release and somebody comes in and goes, "No, we got to do a bunch of reshoots." So I'm assuming that they were probably going to call in some more voice actors, a couple of mocaps, adjust a couple of scenes, and and then move forward. Because without saying anything, we all know that some of the stuff that they were working on was controversial. They had to know that too. And I think that they had an idea. They were looking at like, okay, so is this a story we want to tell? Is this the way we want to tell the story? I think that this, we think that this really needs to be taken back and baked a little more just to get to perfection, right? Then, when the developers here, somebody comes in from the back and says, you know what? We've decided to change Act 2, Scene 3. We're going to need everybody to stay another 3 weeks at crunch time. A developer got super fucking pissed and released that shit onto the internet. Once it was released on the internet, Naughty Dog had no real option other than to say, fuck it, we're releasing it as is. Because even if there's controversial material on there, if they backpedal on any of that controversial material, that would be a public relations nightmare. So they said, fuck it, bit the bullet, pushed it, and now, because they're rushing forward this, they're having trouble finding people to actually manufacture the disc because they're trying to do it at the last fucking minute.
By the way, I want to quickly add that, and take this how you will, that Sony has apparently found the person responsible for this. They claim they're not an insider, and they plan to prosecute this person. Just had to get that out there.
Don't believe that.
All right, like I said, take it how you will. I'm just saying that's what they said.
Well, I don't believe it either because more leaks came out today.
Yeah.
So how's that possible?
That's a good point. Yeah. Again, just so people know, we do have all our facts here. We're not just talking out of our ass.
My scenario is wild speculation wearing a tinfoil hat, but it is what I genuinely, at this point, it's the only thing that makes sense. It's the only thing that I can tie all the little strings of red yarn together to make a picture. Everything else is just out of focus.
Well, I agree with Brett 100%. I'll tell you what, I'll add to that theory because I was thinking about it, and I think the ones who put the brakes and the indefinite hold on the game initially was execs at Sony, who saw the game and were very unhappy with it, from what we know online. I think those guys were like, you need to go back and change some shit, right? So they put the brakes on it, whatever. So the game went on from on hold indefinitely to these major leaks come out to we got a date, June 9th. They pushed Ghost of Tsushima back to give this a release date. That's how crazy this situation is. Ghost of Tsushima was supposed to launch in June. Now it's launched in July, and out of no fault of Sucker Punch, the game was probably ready to go. That game now pushes back to give this a window. Why does it have a window now? Yes, because they're stuck between two PR nightmares. Either you don't release the game at all and you do reshoots, mocap, program whole new scenes, get the writers back, whatever, and try to fix whatever was wrong, or you have to mitigate the leaks and potential lost revenue and put the game out. And so they opted for the second one, or a combination of the two.
Yeah, man, I don't know if we'll ever know the whole truth, but definitely some fishy shit going on behind the scenes, man.
Well, I said this before when Brett and I talked about this before. I said Sony sits on a throne of lies. I'm gonna revise that. Fucking Neil Druckmann sits on the Game of Throne of Lies.
Damn,
man. He's gonna cut himself and keep talking.
He's sitting on the Iron Throne and shit. Oh man. All right, there we go. So let's get on to some other stuff. We could do these a little quickly. They're not too crazy. All right, so just to lighten the mood right now. So Cyberpunk 2077 has customizable genitals, people. So you have, and they're interchangeable. You have a girl with a really big dick, guy with a pussy, all that shit if you want, So go nuts. And I mean nuts literally.
I mean,
Tony, I make a joke
if we're,
I make these jokes out of nowhere. I swear, man.
If you go, why not? Isn't that what they were advertising within the advertisements of the game?
Yeah.
So yeah, sure.
It's
why not?
Weird though. Not that you can customize the penis. Like that's fine. It was a Conan game. I don't give a shit about that. It's weird that this level of customization is being given to a game with no third party view. You will not see this.
Yeah, third person. Yeah.
You'll only probably see it in the menus. Maybe they give you a P option.
And you can see your big dick or something, you know.
I'm pretty sure they don't show the big dick. You just get it. You just go through game going like, yeah, I've got a big dick. Like what the fuck is the point of this? At least in Conan, in the European versions, it was uncensored. So Morgan used to wear no pants and talk to our neighbors with his dick literally waving in the breeze just to make them uncomfortable. It was hilarious. Like walk over like, hey man, you got any stone? And the guy would be like, I'm sorry, your dick is really distracting.
Yeah, I can see him be like, yo, I like your wife. Yeah, I can see that. You know.
I thought for Conan it was the PlayStation version that was censored, and every other version was fine.
Maybe I'm wrong. I heard it was all North American versions, but yeah, we did talk to a dude from I think it was Madrid. Anyway, he told us in great detail. Like we're like, we only see a loincloth. He's like, oh no, that is not what I see. It's a windsock. It is.
Oh, and you were playing the PC version, right? No, you're playing the PlayStation.
Yes.
Oh yeah, so yeah, and that exactly goes with it. So yeah, the PlayStation version, at least in the West, was the one that was censored. So yeah, you were talking to a European guy, and they just left it alone.
Yeah. I don't know why somebody decided to program wind physics and genitalia together. Results are hilarious, but that somebody took time to do that. That was somebody's job for like 3 days.
That must be a really hard wind.
That's what I'm thinking.
Or a really soft dick.
Yeah, that's what people are like really disturbed by. Like it's just like it's like a front tail, man. It's just going all over the place.
Well, it's kind of, you know what it is? It's like titty physics in games. Like titties don't move like that in real life, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like they're all like
yeah, and shit. Like titties don't move like that, so dicks wouldn't move like that, you know. So I accept that, you know. It's like exaggerated genitals and reproductory parts and shit, you know. Oh, by the way, another thing, you're also gonna have first person sex, people. So there you go.
It's an interesting.
So when you're hitting it from the back, you can see their back and shit, you know. Whatever you partake in.
It's interesting that they're talking about all of this stuff that you can do in this game, because I remember a certain Mass Effect game, they were afraid to do any of that sort of stuff, and it was an immature game.
CD Projekt Red, I feel, and I've said this for a while, they have immunity to this shit. Think about it. Like, Mass Effect was getting all this flack. Meanwhile, Witcher 2 had some raunchy fucking shit going on. Nobody said nothing, you know? You had Yennefer with her titties out and shit, you know? Nobody was saying nothing. It's crazy.
Now, in fairness, that might just be because people are like, it's trash. It's just a trashy dragon game.
Maybe.
Like, there are those people that are like, yeah, okay, it's a big-titted elf. Uh-huh.
I think people were literally going, they're Polish, whatever, you know. That's what they do over there. But yeah, so that's going to be interesting. So you're going to you get very kinky in Cyberpunk, it looks like, you know. Go ahead, Ben.
Sorry. Oh, it's interesting. It's very interesting that a game like Conan would get edited and maybe not Cyberpunk. I don't know.
Cyberpunk's, it's CD Projekt Red. They're darlings, man. They're darlings.
I feel like Cyberpunk might get slapped.
No, this is part of the ESRB rating, I believe. I think it was already mentioned. The ESRB rating states this.
All right.
Yeah, but you're not going to see dick, bro. Like, you're going to see insinuation. You're going to see like somebody's face going. They've said this. You're going to see like, I think one of the things was somebody's face going down towards somebody's crotch, like gestating. You know, like you see a bare back and like like humping motions and things like that. Like you're never going to see the dick that you customize. Flat out.
So it's not going to be like Grand Theft Auto where they had that dude's cock just flopping around everywhere. Or Dante's Inferno, remember Satan? His big fucking cock was flopping around everywhere.
Or it's gonna be more like the Order 1886, which had full frontal nudity. You only see it for a couple of seconds and then it's over.
Yeah.
I'm getting it, from what I'm understanding, it's going to be a little bit closer to the having sex with hookers in GTA. Where you kind of see some shit moving around and some bumping, a lot of insinuation. You see like a head flip up. And then, like, boom, it's done. Like,
yeah, cyborg sex, man.
Yeah, I think people are... and I get why, like, it's, cool, it's going to make news, and everybody wants to hear about it, and everyone wants to talk about it. Like, it's going to be such a small part of the game. It's going to be about as much sex scene as you saw in God of War.
Dude, what if I could make a cyborg penis, man? Like that extends and shit and grows and like, like moves like that'd be crazy, I'm like, how customizable is this shit? Is it just like a regular human penis, or can I make that a cyborg penis? Like RoboCop and shit, Dead or alive, you're coming with me, then I fuck her. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that'd be crazy.
How do you know RoboCop has a penis?
I don't think he does. I think RoboCop, nothing down there.
Yeah, it was all gone.
Yeah,
he had none of that stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, like, can you make a cyborg penis into that? Can you make the penis into a gun? Like, how much can you customize it? What happened?
I believe the cyborg penis is called a vibrator.
Yeah, can you put a vibrator down there then? You know what I'm saying? Hey, ladies, look what I got. I'm a cyborg stud. Oh man, yeah, go gadget dick, you crazy sketch. That could be. Can you do shit like that though? It's like Inspector Gadget. Oh god. All right, man, let's go. Next thing. Oh yeah. Also related to Cyberpunk, they're gonna have this thing called Cyberpunk Night City Wire, which is basically what they would normally do at E3. So they're going to just do it, streaming. It's going to be June 11th. So there's going to be behind the scenes updates showing you, some cool stuff about the game. Kind of like what they did last year, So yeah, more cyberpunk stuff.
Question before you move on.
Yes.
Has anybody heard about this multiplayer adaptation that they're doing? I guess it's going to be its own game.
For?
Cyberpunk.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't hear that?
That answers your question, Brett. No, I have not, sir.
Brian?
I thought they weren't doing any multiplayer for this game.
Scott says it's coming a year later.
No, it's going to be its own game. It's going to be a separate game based on the engine. Like, it sounds like they just got into like, this thing is so awesome, we should multiplayer it, but not the regular game. Like, it seems like a very Fallout 76 scenario.
Yeah. Nope, never heard of it. He says it's like Warzone. No, you're right. Sketch is verifying what you're saying. It's just I never heard of it.
Oh, okay.
And Isaac too. He says that is true. It's coming.
It's on the DL, man. That's why they're gonna.
I'm really interested to hear what they say about this, and because knowing how that they're simultaneously developing them could tell us a lot about the game.
Can I fight people with my cyborg penis? That's what I want to know.
I don't know if you can cock punch somebody.
Guess we'll find out. What the hell am I looking at here? Oh, man. All right, let us move on to... by the way, this is not really a slip... Well, I mean... Okay, Summer Game Festival. Let's just talk about that. So, the reason we didn't talk about this on the main show last week... By the way, main show is what I call... my name for Throwdown. This happened on Friday, so we didn't talk about it in the main show. But I do want to apologize to All Day Digital because he did ask us about it for the Sunday question show, but we didn't get around to that. So we'll talk about it now. His question was just, will Summer Game Fest announcements be on the level of E3? Who knows, buddy? I guess we'll have to see. But actually, we could answer you right now because we're going to talk about the announcements so far. So for you guys who don't know, Summer Game Fest... run by Jeff Keighley. This is basically Jeff Keighley's answer to E3. Also, I want to say this real quick. Okay, remember Jeff Keighley dropped out of E3 before the whole Rona shit happened, which forced E3 to be canceled. I believe this is the reason he opted out of it. He was like, I'm doing my own fucking thing, So I believe this Summer Game Fest would have happened regardless. It's just, obviously, they had to change things around. They can't do the shit live anymore. Everything's just all remote or whatever. Anyway, so they're going to... Yes.
I told you, motherfuckers.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you did. He's going to make a lot more money this way, isn't he, Carlos?
Oh yeah, he's trying to replace E3. He's like, he wants his own shit. He wants Jeff Keighley's summer bash.
Yeah,
he walked in there. It's like, I'm the captain now.
I'm the captain now.
And think about how he sold them on it. Like, okay, think about the Game Awards, right?
Yeah.
The Game Awards. They're allowed to put they're allowed to sponsor the show. The thing is that all these game companies are essentially getting free advertising on his show. And that's it.
You're right.
You don't need to pay to sit to put a booth up anywhere. We're going to showcase your stuff, and then meanwhile we'll run some ads and pay our bills too. And who knows? Maybe some of the bigger guys pop him a little bit more money under the table to be first.
No, Kojima's probably.
You already know, man.
Kojima's been relatively quiet, so who knows? Maybe he'll show up and like, do you like it?
All right.
Can I be-
Yeah. So basically, what they're gonna do is they're gonna roll these out in phases, right? So phase one, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So phase one is gonna run from May to August 2020, right? But they said phase two will run on top of phase one. So it's kind of weird, because obviously summer of gaming, you can't have games in the fall, So it'll be, anyway, let's talk about the announcement. So the first thing, as we already talked about it, Inside Xbox. So that was the first phase of it officially, which is interesting. Next week on the May 12th, by the way, I'm reading this for the first time, so don't mind me if I'm surprised by some of this, because I'm like, whoa, May 12th, that's next week, bruh. May 12th is going to have something called Sunrise Number 1. Join Jeff Keighley for a surprise game reveal. Interesting. I wonder what we shall be. Maybe it'll be Elden Ring. People were screaming, what the fuck is Elden Ring? Goddamn it.
Elden Ring.
All right, so Summer Game Fest.
Does this motherfucker have to put his name on everything?
Yes. By the way, it's not called the Jeff Keighley Festival. By the way, it's called Summer Game Fest.
It's the Summer Game Festival with Jeff Keighley.
It doesn't say that in the title here.
No, but what did you just say with Jeff Keighley?
I said.
Starts off
I said. Start off with Inside Xbox, right? We talked about that. Sunrise Number 1, and the description says, "Join Jeff Keighley for a surprise game reveal."
Okay.
So he's not throwing his name on top of it.
It's not called Sunrise with Jeff Keighley.
Yeah, that's not. That'd be crazy.
It's actually called Tyler Perry's Sunrise.
Yeah, Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest.
Look, all I'm saying is that dude clearly liked to play himself.
Hey, listen, why not? I can't begrudge him that. All right, if I was him, I'd put my name everywhere. Fuck that shit, All right,
kind of like the way Kojima puts his name like
exactly
10 times in a game.
Big pimp, All right, so after that we have Summer Game Fest June 2020 announcements. So these are the announcements. Steam Game Festival, interesting, from June 9th through the 14th. Play demos of upcoming games on Steam. By the way, they will be making not all the games, but some of the games that they're going to be showing off, they're going to be letting people play them at home, which is really cool. Something we've been telling E3 to do that shit for fucking years, So they're doing that. So they're going to have the Steam Game Festival. EA Play's back. That's June 11th. Learn about EA's 2020 games.
That was already free, so that doesn't really matter. Yeah. Hey, but at least they don't need to rent out a parking lot this year.
Yeah. Night City Wire, as we just discussed. That's going to be more about Cyberpunks. July 2020, we're going to get TennoCon. That's fucking Warframe. Cool. July 11th. Brian, it took me a while. Hold on. What the fuck is that shit? Yeah, that's Warframe. There you go. Brian, they're going to get you back, man.
I doubt that. I really doubt that.
Oh, man. All right. And then, like we talked about before, we're going to have the Xbox 2020 presentation, which is going to be the first party showcase for the Xbox Series X. And then in August 20th, we're going to have Gamescom, which is going to be, broadcast, like digitally or whatever. By the way, these are just what's announced now. They're going to announce more and more shit. So that's what's coming up at the moment. So it seems like we're getting some stuff. Also, by the way, I'm going to sneak this in here real quick. Tokyo Game Show just announced tonight that their show has been canceled, the physical version, but they will have a digital version instead because of the Corona. So yeah, go ahead.
I know that there's somebody missing in that.
Kojima?
Somebody who also has a console coming out this year that's strangely missing from all this.
Oh, what's the name? Sammy?
Oh no! By the way, Sony.
Sony.
Oh. If you guys saw the original graphic of the Game Fest, Sony's logo was right there. So they will be there.
They will be there, but you notice that there's no flag on a date or anything for them to show up.
Yeah, no, none of that. But so because remember, if we didn't get to talk about this, but when they showed the official lineup of developers and publishers, people were like, "Holy shit, Sony's on there!" Which is kind of sad if you think about it. It's like, yeah, of course, yeah, like that's sad that people were excited about. I'm like, yeah, they should have been there in the first place, bruh. You know?
I'm sorry. As far as I'm concerned, Sony is guilty of the highest crime.
Okay, the crime of murder? What are you talking about?
I have to say, Brian, you are right.
What's
You're
up?
right about everything. It's you win. You win. PC wins. You win.
Oh!
Win. I can't say Final Fantasy VI, arguably the greatest video game of all goddamn time on any fucking platform except for Steam.
Tony has other reasons about Final Fantasy VI.
Final Fantasy VI on Steam is fucking atrocious.
Yeah, well, the only other thing is fucking Android.
Nah, I'm playing emulated, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you don't want to play the emulated version. You don't want to play the Android version because it's literally the shitty version on Steam. You know? Nintendo, Switch doesn't have it either, by the way, Brett.
No console does.
Yeah,
That's
no.
the thing that pisses me off. Like, how does nobody have this game? We've been talking about it.
Yeah.
Even like, especially in comparison to Final Fantasy, like, I don't know, man, that may be better. You can't even find the classic version anywhere for sale for money.
Yeah, but blame that on Square Enix. I've been yelling. I've been yelling at those guys for a few years about that shit because I'm like, okay, you guys did an awesome remaster on Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 4, right? Basically, they look like Final Fantasy 6, Brett. Think about that. They look amazing. Where the fuck is 6? Oh, no, yeah, you get it on Steam. Sure, that shitty mobile version. And Brett, by the way, the Steam version, they didn't... What happened?
On Steam?
Yes, the Steam version is the mobile version, and it has the shitty mobile UI and shit, all clustering the fucking screen. The characters look all fucked up. That's why, Brett, did I tell you my Final Fantasy VI journey, man?
No, and Brian, in regards to this new information, I humbly pick my head back up.
Yeah, take that back, because the Steam version fucking sucks.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like Tony, like railed against it. So I'm like, really? Like, it's better than nothing? Like, okay.
No.
Yeah, okay.
No, that actually gets you negative brownie points. Like, don't bait and switch me like that, bitch.
Yeah, all right, so let me tell you what happened. So
I was excited. I had a Steam gift card, and now I'm sad.
No, don't, Brett. You're gonna get mad, bro. I don't even have the history with you. I don't have the same history you have with the game. I was fucking pissed. Right, so this is what happened with me, right? I was like, okay, I played Final Fantasy VII, that was dope. I need to fill in some gaps of my Final Fantasy knowledge, specifically Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy IX. Let me play 6, right? So I'm like, hey, I bought the game on Steam when it was on sale. Let's play it on Steam. Holy shit. Like, it has these, like, cleaned up graphics. They look like fucking, like, little baby graphics that you see on mobile games and shit. Horrible. Like, the UI is all fucked up. I'm like, okay, I am not playing this. This is terrible. I'm going to play this shit on the Vita, the PS1 version, right? So I started playing it on Vita. I'm like, okay, this looks dope. Those graphics are cool. But what is up with all this loading right now? What the fuck is this shit? You know?
Because it was a PlayStation game.
Because it was a PlayStation game.
Games load slow. And even when they're it has something to do with the way it caches memory.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, okay, I'll deal with the loading and bullshit. But what aggravated me was, I mean, the spell names were fucking weird, right? Like Fire 2, Fire 3. I'm like, it's supposed to be Fira and Firaga. And then, like, I spent like 4 hours playing this game. I'm like, I need a fucking ether. I'm running out of magic. Where's the ethers? I had ethers in my inventory the entire time. They were just called something. I was like, okay, I'm not dealing with this shit.
They're always called ethers.
They're called tincture in Final Fantasy VI. I'm like, I'm not dealing with this shit. I'm gonna, and then I found out that apparently the SNES version was censored in America, right? Like in terms of like the script and the some of the monsters. I'm like, I'm gonna play a hacked version of this fucking game. So let me finish real quick. So I found a hacked version. So Brett, I'm playing right now a hacked version of the SNES version without censorship, but it's the same core game, and I'm playing it on my RetroPie with the scan lines. Oh, I'm loving this game right now. Dude, okay, I played the first half of this game. I'm like, this game's cool, but I don't really see the big deal. I'm in the world of Ruin. I see what the big deal about this fucking game is. The world of Ruin is the shit.
They did it. They actually went there. They always get to the legend, pull it back, but Final Fantasy VI fucking did it.
And it's not only like, the world's fucked up now. You got to fix it. Like, no, the world's fucked up, and you're gonna live in it now. You know, like it's crazy.
And this is also why Kefka is one of the worst villains.
Oh man, Kefka is a motherfucker, man. Oh, by the way, Brett, I did hang out at the island for the last second until Shadow showed up. I didn't leave him behind. I waited.
Nice.
I waited.
Good man. Good man.
You know. Oh, so right now I've gathered up everybody. I just need to get Locke, and I'll be good to go. But yo, this game is the shit. But it just shows you how badly Square Enix is mismanaging. I had to go through all these fucking hoops just to play this game correctly. You know, it's fucking sad, man. Oh wait, what's your question, bro?
Yeah, and then it ties to my question. Isn't this game on the SNES Classic?
Yes, it is. That's the NES version. But again, I didn't want to play that censored version. You know. But again, you think of, that goes to what?
What?
Yes, it's on the SNES Classic. But that goes to your point, Brett. You have to buy this little console just to play this game.
I don't care. I will do it.
All right, get the SNES Classic, bro. I think it's still available, too.
I was going to say, is that shit still available?
I think it is. Yeah.
I've seen them around.
Yeah, Brett, there you go. And that's the version you remember playing, so you're good to go.
Yeah, I don't care.
All right, yeah, get the SNES. SNES Classic is dope, by the way. But the Steam version, I'm telling you, people, do not play that shit. And Final Fantasy V, too. It's a mobile version, too. Stay away from that shit. Stay away from it. All right. With that little bit of a rambly thing there, I think we're done here, people. Good show. Yeah, we're done. We got to go to bed. Oh, man. All right. So thank you for watching and listening. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco. And tonight is joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you later, guys.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Adam Vale.
Get ready for this weekend's Money in the Bank. It's going to be on the roof of the Titan Towers. We're going to do a WrestleCast tomorrow night for it. So
Nice. Brett Murdoch.
I'll buy this bitch just for Final Fantasy VI.
No,
Yes.
don't do that.
Hey, they got Super Metroid on it, man. You're good.
Okay, first of all, there's that. I mean, fucking the video game, the cartridge itself is still like $50.
Yeah, because remember that cart was like special and shit. You know, it was expensive even back then. You know.
Also, Brett, do you like Star Fox?
Yes.
Well, that's the only way you can play the official version of Star Fox 2 is on there.
Why did I not?
It's not that good, though.
We're in this at launch. I just kind of... Man,
Yeah, get it for Final Fantasy.
what have I been doing with my life?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, quick thing. Check out the latest episode of the ARG podcast, which should be up now, that I recorded yesterday on Wednesday, where I got to talk about beat 'em up games along with David Giltonen and Big Cheese LX, who is like a pro Tetris 99 guy. Really cool dude. A lot of fun talking about all the beat 'em ups. I went fucking nuts. So check that out. ARG podcast, episode 206, I believe. I'll tell you more on Sunday. And of course, Mr. Brian Manjoma.
Oh man, when you guys played Last of Us 2, I can't wait until you get the part when you find out that the whole game was just set in the woods the whole time in modern day.
Oh, God.
I thought it was like the Wizard of Oz and she was going to wake up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan shit, you know?
None of this shit
People
happened.
might not get that. You know?
No, yeah.
I'm like really careful as like which films I actually choose to like use like these parts, because some of them they actually talk about stuff that's stuff.
Oh,
right?
God.
So yeah, but don't worry, I'll keep it clean.
Good stuff. All right, man. We'll see you on Sunday. Peace out, people.
Latest.